Hey, yo, guys, Pandy351 here, or I should say PC here, because this is not Pandy351 at this point. Hey, hi, how's it going? It's been a little while since we've chatted. Just one-on-one. I know on screen you guys are seeing all these tabs, and you're probably like, oh god, what's happening? This is kind of in response to a couple of things. This is something that was a long time coming. I wasn't really going to touch this until stuff that happened today, and I just want to set the record clear as straight as I can on everything. There's a lot of things, but a lot of this has to do specifically with AryaFein. AryaFein was a actor who worked for me and someone who I worked for a short period of time, who had displayed a lot of problematic behaviors, racism, pedophilia, those kind of problematic behaviors. And so me and a couple of the cast members left, and it just turned into an absolute shit show real fast. I didn't leave because of the pedophilia, though. I was kind of aware of it. I do apologize for that. I probably should have left sooner, but I wanted to make sure I had complete and utter evidence of it all. I've got as much as I can have. A lot of it is witness statements. I actually have several of the witnesses in the VC with me right now. They're going to be listening in and typing in the mute chat just to help keep me from going too far off the path. If I stutter a little bit, I'm kind of doing this in a little bit of like it's a little bit late at night. So I'm going to try to edit out, for the most part, any kind of like huge gaps and stuff and things. So again, I do apologize for that. But this is primarily into response to two videos that are up on, what's his official name? I don't know it 100%. You know what? I'll just pull it up for you guys. These videos. These ones. Kai Productions. Oh,
this again, huh?
It opened up the wrong tab.
It's a lot different.
Okay, so this channel here, this channel right here. I think it's right here. That's my thing. Okay, this channel right here made two videos. Made two videos. They made these two videos right here, and a lot of this is kind of in response to both of this. Obviously, I said I was going to go through every fucking point in this video. I'm not. It's not happening. It's a 2-hour video, and I don't want to watch through it again, and it's honestly absolutely fucking disgusting to listen through. But basically, from what I can summarize in that video, a lot of it has nothing to do with me and talks a lot about Kirito for some weird reason. And that has something to do with me because at some point I worked with him. How that relates at all, I don't know. I don't work with him anymore for obvious reasons. And no, I never publicly made a call out because I never worked with him, or for him, I should say. He worked for me for a short period of time. I have never worked for him. I have never been a part of his cast. I have never been in his cast Discord. None of those things have ever happened. And I want to make that perfectly clear because apparently that wasn't understood in that video. And that's a primary of the point of one. Somehow I'm a bad person for calling Arya out and not calling Kirito out in the same way because I literally had no idea Kirito was a problematic person. I just know that Kirito made me extremely uncomfortable for reasons that I do not need to explain right now because it's got nothing to do with this video. And unlike them, I'm not going to get off topic. The second video is them stating that they're not wanting to play the victim, but then calling themselves a victim halfway through the video. I didn't watch the end of it because honestly, it's really not worth my time or effort. This is dumb. This is really stupid. And the fact that I have to make this video is arguably the most stupidest thing about this whole entire thing. With that being said, a few years or a year back or so, I would say it's only been about a year, I started working with AryaFein again. One of the biggest reasons I stopped working with her in the first place was due to her and Kirito's support of Star Art Studio. If you guys have been around long enough, you would know that Star Art Studio was an actor of mine and someone who I worked for as well, and was also an artist who was caught sexting minors. She sexted 3 of them, on top of just being a toxic piece of shit to me. So when the screenshots were existent of what Star had been doing with the minors, Those screenshots had been brought to Kirito and Arya, both about a month prior to what went public, because I had to take some time before I could go public with it. And they kept Star in their respective casts, and so they would not remove her. And as per cast rule, a few of the cast members here could confirm that. I don't think it's necessary though, because I could go get it. It's in the Discord, like it's there. Per rule, any cast members who were still in Arya's cast at that time, and Arya herself was removed because of Star. That wasn't really said publicly because, again, I hadn't really gotten to the point where I could give out proof, and that was the first mistake I made with this entire situation. I didn't get to this point first. I made a very stupid mistake, and I made a very emotional mistake, and I did not give you guys all of the proof I had, and I deeply apologize for that. I obviously should have put everything out on the table. I shouldn't have let my emotions cloud my judgment. I was very hurt by a lot of this, because a lot of it is very personal, and in the process, now showing these screenshots, I'm about to give a lot of personal stuff out. So I do apologize if I get emotional or anything during the video. Some of this is kind of hard. So after Star had been called out publicly, Kirito and Arya had both removed Star from their series and basically were like, "Hey, can we come back?" And I was like, "Yeah, no." And they weren't at it until a while later, until I found out Goat and Arya were actually really close friends. And much to my misjudgment, I wanted to make sure I was friendly with Arya because I wanted to make Goat happy. And that was more on me. I'm not saying that that's like Goat did anything bad. I don't think Goat really knew what was happening all that much in that department. I also think that Arya used a lot of very manipulative tactics at that time, and Goat sadly was affected by a lot of them. She still was until recently, when I was able to finally sit her down and talk her through. So if it seems like there were some weird changes that happened on the channel during that time with Goat, that might be because of that. So yeah. A lot of this started out kind of slowly but surely. There were just little things here and there, kind of weird things, like a conversation that happened in the VC. I'm not too sure who else was there. I know someone else was there. But we were having a conversation, and Arya made the statement about how she waited until Belle, who was her partner at the time, she was willing to wait until she turned 18 to date her, which was a little strange considering Arya was like maybe 28, 29 at that point. And the creepy comments just continue from there. They get so much worse and they just go downhill. I did a collab with a YouTuber a long while back, by the name of Circus Baby YT. Not a lot of you may remember this, but I know that she had a rule that Circus wouldn't allow people who were older than her, like adults, into her cast because she felt uncomfortable because she herself was a minor. Which, was totally fine. Made sense to me. But Arya would constantly complain about the fact that she wouldn't be allowed in her cast because she was an adult. Which, again, kind of weird. But a lot of that stuff was just one-off comments, nothing big deal, nothing that I personally felt was a problem. I could see, her frustration and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm too old, I can't do this. And I didn't think too much further of that. And for that, that's on me. I should have started looking into that stuff. I should have wrote that stuff down. But as I got to know her series a bit more while working on it, I discovered some things that I felt were very disturbing and quite creepy. And a few other people came to me and we talked about it. Goat being one of those people, primarily. And that's what kind of started a lot of this ball. So, I guess technically I'm giving spoilers for Arya's series. She's not really continuing it in the same way, so I don't think it's much of a problem. But anyways, Arya had 4 romantic interests in her series. She had Matsuki, Rain, Drake, and oh god, whatever his fuckface. The one that I was supposed to play. What was his name? Genji. Sorry. Thank you, Flicker. Genji. And Genji was someone I was going to play. While Kat played Matsuki, Microwave played Rain, and Clayton, who we'll talk about later because that's a whole thing and a half, played Drake. I would like to point this out that both Clayton and Microwave are both minors. They are still minors, and they were minors at the time of these recordings. And there was a lot of talk of Drake and Arya having sex. A surprising amount. To the point where some of it got explained in front of minors by Arya herself. Now, I know sometimes it got explained by the actor for Drake. However, specifically, Arya talked about it a lot. A lot more than comfortably acceptable. Especially when some of those explanations were given directly to minors. From that point moving forward, there was... Oh, God. There was the episode with the 2 gay foxes. That has got to be the most uncomfortable thing I have ever been put through. Holy shit. The summary of the episode is that basically there are 2 foxes, me and Kat played them at the time, who were romantically interested in each other. They are both gay. They are both lesbian. And obviously because of the time period of the series, that wasn't acceptable. That was a no-no. So they're doing it in secret, which is not something I mind, though personally I don't see a reason to have homophobia be a main plot point in a series where it's kind of irrelevant and it's used offhandedly in a single episode. Kind of weird. But that personal preference on that, I guess. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'm kind of new to a lot of things, so if that's like extremely inappropriate, then I'm unaware of it. What I was mostly uncomfortable with was when, obviously these 2 foxes are being outed. It wasn't outed to 1 or 2 people. It was outed to a bunch of people. And as somebody who has had friends who have been hurt by being outed against their will, there was some trauma triggers that hit that made me super uncomfortable. And then obviously later on in the episode, it then is encouraged for them to continue to hide it. It is mentioned that, like, obviously, it's really weird that, like, people think this isn't okay, but, like, then at the end of the episode, they're encouraged to continue to hide it, and it's really weird. It was an extremely uncomfortable episode. It felt very wrong to me. Goat felt slightly the same, not as much as I did, but I hated that episode so much. It was so uncomfortable. And a lot of this stuff, story-wise, you can go look at her channel to find it. I know I don't have the clips for you here. I don't feel like getting copyright striked for stuff, because she would do that, knowing her. And it doesn't take all that long to go look to find the episodes. It's really not that hard. The very first episode even has, like, Arya as a child talking with Rain and stuff, and then suddenly, boom, he's a romantic interest when he was, an adult when Arya was a child. And I know, the argument has been made that, like, vampires, they date people younger than them all the time. That's in Twilight. Haven't you ever seen Twilight, PC? No, I haven't. I haven't watched Twilight because I'm not interested. Actually, that's not true. I have seen Twilight. It's gross and weird. I've never read the books, though. But the thing that's concerning to me is in most fiction that involves vampires, the conversation usually ropes around, like, maybe they knew your grandmother at some point. Like, maybe they knew your grandmother and it could never happen because it was forbidden love. or it's never talked about how old they are, or when they is, it's joking like, oh, I helped George Washington cross the river. Stuff like that, where it's kind of jokey. It's not taken seriously. Not, hey, I fucked your grandmother, which is kind of the relationship between Matsuki and Arya, which it was heavily pushed while I was playing Matsuki as a backup actor for Goat, that Matsuki was heavily interested in Arya. I was very uncomfortable with this. I wasn't sure how to state that because Matsuki's not my character. Matsuki is mostly voiced by Goat. So I did not feel I had the place to say anything, so I didn't. And obviously Arya changed lore because I was playing the character, which brings up a whole other thing. Arya was completely obsessed with me to an unhealthy degree, and that is what started a lot of the reason why I split up with Arya in the first place. That's why a lot of this is very important. And I'm going to go through all of these screenshots with you guys. We're going to go step by step along the way. Other than that, the only other main point, I guess, in her series was it's heavily pushed that because Arya, the character, her species is Fains, are wolves that are turned into humans by, like Matsuki, that it's acceptable for them to be treated as sex slaves, basically. There's no, like, walking around that. They're treated as slaves. There is even quotes, because I know there was quotes about how Arya was just an animal. And if you don't know, that's extremely wrong and not cool for someone to say. And not call it maybe a little bit of slavery there. There's a lot of uncomfortable things. Like really uncomfortable things with it. But before I made a tweet and I said all this stuff and I didn't give any clarification because I was in extreme distress because of stuff that was happening, which I will explain. We're getting to there. We're getting to that. And I do deeply apologize that this stuff wasn't shown originally. But just so that, you know, I show proof, because I know Arya said she wasn't aware of this stuff a lot. My first proof here is actually a DM between Goat or Cat and Arya. As you can see, there was a conversation that me and Goat had behind the scenes where Goat expressed extreme discomfort because of Matsuki being kind of with Arya and having a thing, and it's kind of weird. So Goat asked what should be done, and I was like, you should message Arya, let Arya know. And as you can see, Arya's response to this all was to fix Arya's age. Like, that didn't change the fact that Arya was a child in the very first episode and now is older, if that didn't make it creepier somehow. Which means their age difference would have been farther. Yeah. Yeah, this really didn't help anything. But Arya was extremely dismissive towards the discomfort that Goat felt, which started a lot of this. I mean, a lot of this was started because of a lot of things. This is just, I'm sorry I'm saying a lot. I'm thinking, and that's my way of thinking, apparently. So, on top of this, Arya became super duper obsessed with me to an almost unhealthy degree that caused me a lot of distress. It was simple things. A lot of it's on Twitter. It's still there. You can see it. Where it's simple things like I would message Arya like, oh, you know, I really missed you because Arya was gone, because that's what you do when you're friends. And Arya would go off on Twitter about how, oh, my crush said that she missed me. And, like, that was fine. But it started escalating to the point of where I made a tweet during Christmas time where I'm like, haha, which of my characters would you kiss under the mistletoe? And she made a tweet about her crush asking her an uncomfortable question. Which I was not a fan of. I was not a fan of that tweet. So because of that, I had a conversation with Goat. And Goat pushed me to have a conversation with Arya. I was very afraid because I've had a lot of bad experiences with expressing my boundaries. That Arya would explode, overreact in some way. And that it would just make a big deal out of nothing. I was very concerned about that. So I didn't really want to have the conversation with Arya because I was afraid that she wouldn't want to be friends anymore, which... Oh boy. Oh, I was so naive. And this was only a couple months ago. So, after Goat kind of pushed me to like finally have the conversation, this was the message that I had with Arya. I will read it to you. I will read it to you with everything there, and I will clarify every point. I do need to talk to you about something, but I'm having Kat help me word it first. Recently, I've been getting a bit uncomfortable with your obsessiveness, and I wanted to talk to you about it. I want to clarify, this is in DMs. This conversation happened in DMs. This was not public. No one else saw this but Goat. Now all of you are saying it, but this was meant to stay completely private. And I'm specifying that because later on it'll be very important. It really put me off every time I try to have a normal conversation with you and the response is melodramatic from you, especially on Twitter. There's been a few times that as a friend, I've said I've messed with you, I've missed you and such, and it's resulted in an overly emotional or obsessive tweet. Like when I said I miss you and you went overboard on your response, I don't think it's healthy. Also, when I made the tweet about the mistletoe, it wasn't a question directed at you. It was just for a fun, playful tweet, but then you went off to tweet about your crush asking you an embarrassing question. You really didn't have to respond to it at all. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to feel bad about not having the same feelings for you because, as I said before, I do not wish for that kind of relationship with you at the moment, and I'm not sure I want one with you at all. I'm telling you this now, that if you don't tone it down a bit, I won't really even want to be friends. Okay, I understand. I had told Arya at this point that the flirting in DMs or like verbally was fine, like the casual flirting. Not the obsessive tweets. That was weird. And that was what I had a problem with. I specifically gave examples. So there's no reason she didn't know what was happening. I want to make that very clear. Arya was very aware that there was stuff in her series that were making people uncomfortable and that she was making me feel uncomfortable and emotionally. So her response to all of this was to go to my best friend, Goat, and go in her DMs and talk shit. So I'm going to read over all of this again, because that's what you do. And I'll go over every point and stuff, and then we'll rope back to things. I want to also reiterate, did not say the flirting made me uncomfortable. I specified that it was the tweets. Kat, I really need to talk to you about something. I feel like I'm being targeted unfairly, unless I'm just feeling paranoid here. She's not being untargeted fairly. I expressed it in DMs. No one else saw it. I want to talk to someone. I know no matter who I talk to, it'll just get screenshotted and shown to someone, which I understand and rightfully so. And yet you're still having this conversation. But I don't think it's fair. My side hasn't been explained. I'm too scared to talk to PC, much even less apologize without losing her completely as a friend. So I want to have someone to mediate like she had. Please let me know if you want to. If not, I will work on clearing the air on my own, because right now I feel like leaving PC's cast because I feel like an unwelcome pest at this point. Guilt tripping at the very end of that. I also would like to point out that she's asking for advice on mediation, but then also made the statement that she wants her side heard. Now again, Goat had seen all of the text messages and had seen the Twitters. Goat was already aware of what was happening. And yeah, I got screenshotted immediately. You can tell by it saying today. Yeah. So I was fully well aware of what was happening. And I was fully well aware of this conversation. And I wasn't too thrilled, but she's asking for help. I was fine with that. Kat, I'm here to listen. I'm here if you want to talk as well, though you know my stance. I know, but I want to write something to an apology. I am so sorry if my dyslexic ass cannot read the wrong grammar. I might paraphrase some of this just so that I don't trip myself up. I apologize. The screenshots are there. You can see everything that's being said. Will it be easier to call? Probably best to message. All right. Do I believe the entirety of this? Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to check to make sure everything was there. So I guess I should start for the top. After I admitted having feelings to PC, she set her boundaries and studs. The boundaries that I set were basically, I still have feelings for goat/cat. I still am madly in love with her, which I still am. And I don't know if I'm ready to be in another relationship yet because I care so much about her. I'm not sure I'm interested. I told her she could flirt with me, and that was fine, but nothing else was going to happen. That's the boundary. I did not clarify about the tweets or anything like that, and that's why I set another boundary. This entire thing is exactly why I didn't want to tell her this, because of her overreaction to me setting a boundary. So, hey, cool, trauma. I respected she didn't want to be in a relationship. I know she still wanted to be with you. I completely understood that and respected it without question. PC told me she didn't mind the flirting, which I did with her, and she did to me back. I thought it was okay. It was okay. Never once did she mention that I crossed any lines until yesterday. Because, those weren't the lines. You weren't crossing lines by the flirting. I never knew that I had overstepped my boundaries or that she thought I was obsessed, which I'm really not. I've been flirting with other people online and in real life. I have other friends too I think about and make jokes with. I didn't realize the level of discomfort PC was feeling because she didn't tell me until yesterday. To be honest, I didn't have the confidence to say anything until the day before this happened, because I was anxiety for this reaction. So, the way PC came at me made me feel like I was an obsessed fan or something. You were acting like one. I gave PC plenty of space. I didn't DM her very often just to check in on her. I always ask for consent to hug her. And this is untrue. This is completely untrue. I know this is untrue because Goat is probably the only person that, no matter what, has asked me if I'm okay hugging her. Which, with my closer friends, I'm completely fine with them hugging me without asking. But this isn't true. Like, I'm okay with hugs. I don't necessarily have anything against hugs. And if you don't necessarily ask, if you're a stranger, I might be a little bit uncomfortable with that. But for the most part, I'm generally okay with hugs. Especially online, not IRL. IRL, completely different thing. That's a completely different conversation. I'm strictly speaking in chats and stuff. With Arya, obviously she was a closer friend, so I was okay with her giving me hugs without necessarily asking, but to make the statement that she did ask every time she hugged me is just incorrect. I've been always but respectful of her boundaries and her intentions. I don't understand. She was the ones that she knew of. I set new ones. Sure, I made some cracks on Twitter. I'll admit that. She didn't tell me she was uncomfortable. I did tell you. That's the point of this. I would have immediately backed off if she had, without doubt. I've been around many people that make me uncomfortable and have a similar situation. I want to point out the fact that she said, because I've been through this thing, that means that I'm not making you uncomfortable. Which is just gaslighting. Which is kind of the main reason why this turned into shit talking, because this turned from asking for advice to trying to convince Kat that I was a shit person. And that's kind of not cool to do to my best friend. I know what it's like. I honestly don't have any feelings left from yesterday, to be honest. I'm not sure I want to remain in her cast because of it. I felt singled out. Again, never singled out. Over clear miscommunication. It was miscommunication. That's why I clarified the communication. Like I said earlier, I'd been casually flirting with others, and I have proof of it too if needed. No, because you flirting with others is not the fucking problem. You flirting with me was not the goddamn problem. I'm not obsessed with PC. Yes, you were. And I never will be. You most certainly were. was very fucking creepy. I want to point out that there are 2 pictures that exist that were made by an artist. One of which is her character, my character, hugging and blushing, which I gave consent to. The other one is specifically her character offering a bouquet of flowers that she asked what my favorite flowers were, and that's what's in the picture. And anytime we would talk, she found every excuse she could to send me that picture. And I'm gonna be honest, it made me extremely uncomfortable. It was not something I mentioned because I'm like, oh, it's just a picture. It's no big deal. But like, kind of uncomfy. So like, you can't really say you're not obsessed with someone and then pay someone to draw art like that. I feel pretty hurt from the message she sent. I don't think I'll get over it. I'm sorry this is long, but this is why I needed to collect my thoughts and just not directly respond to what PC messaged me yesterday because I was panicking, crying, and having multiple breakdowns and couldn't think straight. I woke up this morning and it had gotten even worse, so I needed to say my piece. I want to preface that this is before, this was after some tweets that were made, which we'll talk about very shortly. But I wanted to talk on this first. But this is after the tweets that were made publicly. As Goat put it, I can understand the frustration of PC's message coming out of nowhere. Sometimes people struggle to communicate their feelings, and PC certainly does, because she's not used to expressing discomfort. However, PC setting that boundary was her trying to communicate. She set a boundary so that it was clear that what you were doing was making her uncomfortable. You say you would have stopped if she had said anything, but look at how you've reacted to her setting a boundary because she was uncomfortable. You made a tweet about her anytime she messaged you, Arya. Even you have to admit that's slightly obsessive. Okay, I'll admit to that. But again, I would have stopped immediately. I wouldn't have been hurt, but she is. I would have respected her feelings and boundaries, but she's not. I'm not a bad person. I think I'm reasonable, but she's not being reasonable. Back then, I was doing it seemed harmless, but with her communicating her discomfort and you stating it, I look back and see you were right. I will admit when I'm wrong. I'm not afraid to. I just need to figure out how to apologize. Except this entire thing, you have spent the whole time saying you did nothing wrong, and it's because I didn't tell you sooner. I really hate people who do this. Where it's like, I'm not the victim. I'm not saying I'm the victim. And then spend the entire time saying you are. No. Stop. Cease immediately. I skipped work because of this. I can't even get up. I feel like trash, to be honest. Again, you say you would have stopped, but this is how you reacted. Take some time to clear your head. Try to calm down. And then I wish I was told a lot sooner, which she couldn't have been. I think, if I remember correctly, the Christmas tweet happened maybe 2-3 days before this conversation. Like, it was a couple days before I sent what I said to her. So it wasn't a clear overstepping boundaries until that tweet. Which is, not great. So here's the tweet that was made. By the way, I want to preface that this tweet was made within 24 hours or less than 24 hours of what I said in DMs with Arya. I literally specified that the stuff in the tweets was not okay and that I was uncomfortable with it, and her response was to tweet about it. I don't think I need to specify why that is. Obviously, immediately breaking the boundaries that I set in a ridiculous manner. These tweets are pain. Also, there's a lot of guilt tripping, so just a heads up, I'm going to call it out when it happens. Feeling a huge mix of emotions right now. I might not make another post unless something positive happens. There's guilt trip number 1. I need some space right now. I feel mostly pain, though, and confusion. Strike number 2. Comes with the territory of me not understanding relationships and emotions. I'll admit my shortcomings as they come. I don't understand relationships. I don't ever think I've been in a healthy one or thought of what it meant to be in one. There's another one. I don't know a single damn thing. I've been honestly too scared to admit I liked anyone, and honestly, I regret I did, and I want to suppress my feelings and emotions, and I will, of course, but it still hurts. that guilt trip basically is like, oh, how dare you set a boundary with me? Well, I wish I never talked to you in the first place about having feelings for you. Which is, again, the whole point of why I set the boundary in the first place. So that guilt trip is not only just a guilt trip in itself, but it's literally breaking the boundary. Cool. I think I just want to stay in my shell for a while, focus on role plays, and just hide like the little crab I am. Everyone scares me, everyone. And there's the last guilt trip of this. I'm scared to lose everything I built, friendships, collaborations, and coworkers alike. I'm also terrified. I feel trapped that every mistake or error I make will just be dropped like me in the garbage, like I think I am. I'm sorry for everything. This is all public. This is something fans can see. And it's not like it wasn't completely unobvious that Arya was like flirting with me and I was playfully flirting back. So like, this really wasn't cool. This wasn't supposed to be made public. So, and then obviously she had the conversation with Goat about stuff. I'll get to the screenshot that's up on the screen in a moment. The conversation she had with Goat. And during that time, I struggled very hardly with trying to figure out whether or not I was going to remove her entirely. And if I just was going to stop being friends like I had said when I set the boundary. And Goat is the one who pushed me to go ahead and drop Arya as a friend. Because Arya pushed a boundary. During this time, this is stuff that's happening in her cast server. I can see this. I could see all of this. That's why this stuff is important. Because this is just continuing guilt tripping. Not sure if I'll record tonight anymore. Something happened that's pretty personal that left my mind pretty scattered. And I doubt I can get into character. We'll see what 7 p.m. brings. I might just body act and record a camera view. There's guilt trip number 1. Then her statuses did a lot of changing. I need time to think very hard too. Can't see straight. Sad Arya. I think I'm going to lay down for a while. Might record, might not get up. I'm not sure yet. Kind of edging on threatening to kill themselves because of what I said, which, is not cool. I want to preface, I made a response on Twitter. We will talk about that. We will talk about why that was inappropriate and not okay because I didn't specify, but threatening to kill yourself because somebody told you that they're, uncomfortable is really not fucking cool and not okay, especially when that person has suicidal ideations of their own, as well as had several family members have to be hospitalized because of suicide. It's a kind of big trigger for me. So seeing other people threaten to do it kind of makes me really uncomfortable, which is why I responded the way I did. Inappropriate as it was, that's why. I'm giving you an explanation. I'm not excusing my behavior because it's really not cool. It's not okay. On top of that, obviously, there's more. Just let me know if you guys want to record. If not, I think I'm just going to vibe alone for the rest of the night. Again, more guilt tripping. Yay. You can even see, I replied to this. This is my reaction. That little X. That's mine. That's me saying no. I could still see this. So anyways, after the conversation with Goat and me having a talk, I actually received this while we were having that conversation. I was like, oh, okay, I need to do something about this. So this is what Arya sent to me. Hey, PC, I know I'm probably the last person you want to talk to right now, and that's all right. You don't have to. I just wanted to reach out and apologize for my action the past few weeks. It was irresponsible of me, not only as your friend, but as someone that really looks up to you. I never meant to disrespect you or your boundaries or make you uncomfortable. Again, I specified. I was setting boundaries. There were no boundaries that were technically disrespected. I didn't give these boundaries. It's okay that she messed up on boundaries that didn't exist. However, to then continue to break those boundaries is where there became a problem. I'm really sorry. I'm also sorry I reached out to Kat. I just needed some advice. You were not looking for advice. You looked to shit talk. And a friend to help me gather my thoughts together. I never meant to go behind your back, except that's exactly what you did. I knew going in, Kat would say everything to you. I had said, or at least mentioned I had spoken to her. I can show you everything we spoke about. I don't mind that. I'm still sorry for it. I also swear I didn't go to anyone else about what had happened. Which isn't entirely true. because while she didn't specify what was going on, she did talk a little bit about it to a few people. Which again, this was supposed to stay private. The only other person who knew about this was Goat. And at that point, knowing that she had gone to Goat behind my back, it did not give me hope that she had not gone to other people. Which obviously is not great. Sure, I got the curiosity, but always the casual, I'm fine, don't worry about it. Yet saying sorry isn't enough, and it shouldn't be through actions. I will prove I'm sorry by never letting it happen again. The reason for my delay was due to the holidays. I wanted you to rest, enjoy your holiday. I also lost a family member shortly after the occurrence, and I was not in the right mind frame to apologize. Sorry for the delay. I'll prove to you that I'm sorry if you'll allow me. Please let me know if there's anything you need from me as well. I'll work on editing once I catch up with mine, since I am, again, behind on everything because of what's happened. Thank you for reading the message. I hope you have a good week, PC. So I had a conversation with Goat. And Goat was like, yeah, she disrespected your boundaries. She can fuck off. Which, I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And by the way, this video is going to be long. It's already almost an hour long, and I'm so sorry. This is going to be long. I know it's going to be long because I want to literally lay out everything I have, which is a lot. A lot of personal shit, but it's a lot. And I also feel that I owe at least an explanation or an apology for certain behaviors because a lot of this was not shown publicly. Because it wasn't supposed to be public. None of this was supposed to go public. I didn't make it go public. Arya did. Thank you for the time reading your message. I hope you have a good week. That emoji is a personal emoji that is of play cake. That's an emoji that means quite a bit to me. And the emoji is basically just, hang tight. I've seen your message. It'll give me a bit to respond. It's meant to help with communication with Goat when sometimes Goat goes nonverbal. It also helps when I go nonverbal or I want to acknowledge somebody that I saw their message and I have to take a minute. So I got Goat to help me write a response. And this is the response that I gave Arya. Hey, Arya. Sorry this message took so long. I was trying to find the right words. Thank you for the apology. It does seem sincere. However, I do think I need to talk to you, and I need you to listen. To start off, you apologize for speaking to Kat behind my back. While I appreciate the apology, you still did go to her. You talked somewhat negatively and seemed to misunderstand what I had said. The conversation was shown to me in its entirety, and honestly, it scared me how you reacted to me telling you no. I told you as soon as it really started to become uncomfortable. There was no repercussions for your actions, yet you complain I didn't inform you sooner. I can't read minds or time travel. I literally couldn't have told you any sooner. Also, the subtle yet unintentional, maybe gaslighting, was also very concerning. I've experienced this particular thing before. Therefore, if I was told about this action, I would have stopped. Has literally no point when you're doing the exact same reaction I was afraid of you having when telling you about it in the first place. And, well, I do it to my other friends, too. Isn't exactly great either. You didn't go to Kat for help. You went to her to tell your side of the story. You literally weren't being singled out. I sent the message in DMs. I think the worst part about all of this is I was very specific on the fact that it had to do with the tweets, not you flirting with me. I didn't and never had a problem with the flirting. It was talking everyday normal conversation that went overboard and going overboard with them, making a funny haha tweet about being under the mistletoe with one of my characters and it being an embarrassing question I asked you. As someone who is ace, it was weird. It made me feel uncomfortable. I told you, and your first response was to make a public tweet being melodramatic, which is the exact thing I told you was making me uncomfortable. I told you I was uncomfortable, and your immediate response was to go off about how you wish you had never told me you had feelings for me. This is a form of guilt tripping, which is exactly why I said it was specifically tweeting. Less than 24 hours, and you broke the boundary that I had already set into place. After talking with Kat, I've determined that the best course of action is to act upon that. You broke the boundaries I've set, and because of that, I've decided that cutting ties is the best course of action. I do not wish you any ill will, and under better circumstances, then maybe we would be having a different conversation. But as of right now, I do not have the emotional capacity or energy to put into a continued friendship with you. I will still be following you on Twitter. I won't be removing you from the fan server. I will be removing you from my series and will be stepping down from yours. I hope you understand, and I wish you the best of luck. I accept this. Thank you for being on my team, and I wish you well. I'm leaving your fan server because I have no reason to be in it anymore. I'll delete all the skins that I have and your videos. Let me know if you need the copies of the videos before I delete them. Thank you. That was supposed to be the end. Now, I want to preface that I had a conversation with a few other people about what was happening, which included Microwave and other people explaining some of the other things, the slight, pedophilia stuff that I had rattling around in my brain that I was like, should I talk about this? Should this be brought up eventually? The answer was yes. It was going to get brought up eventually. I just wasn't prepared for it to come up when it did, which is why I seem so underprepared. I'm a lot more prepared now. But that's why it seems like I was so underprepared to have that conversation, because none of this was supposed to go public yet until I had everything together. To show on that, these are the screenshots that I received in the cast server that were guilt trippy at best. But obviously, a lot of it is very light. Due to multiple factors, the series is going temporarily on hold. I'll also not be joining recordings because I'm just honestly burnt out. I need some time to myself to enjoy myself and not worry about editing and recording. I'm tired. Get back to you guys. Just stuff like that. On a hiatus for a week. No big deal. Goat was already thinking about stepping down because of the pedophilia stuff. And me leaving just kind of like cut the final cord. So Goat left. Also, Microwave left. I want to reiterate, Microwave is a minor. I have the screenshots with his name for his permission. However, he is a minor. And, don't be shits. Your shits to him. I'm not going to be very happy. He's a good boy. He also still is a minor. But he's a good boy. And you hurt him and we're going to have problems, which was kind of what happened with Arya. But obviously, Microwave, if you see here, Microwave only stepped down as Rain. Not Aaron, just Rain. I want to preface that because he wasn't going to step down as any of his other characters. Just Rain. Just the character that was a problem. And that's when everything went south. Because from there, I made a tweet about how Arya was removed. That was it. This was Arya's response to that tweet. And the problem is that, for obvious reasons, it's a little apparent that this tweet is about me. Because it was after my tweet about removing Arya. She can sit here and say it has nothing to do with me. It's not true. It's very obviously not true. And it's easy to see that this definitely had something to do with me, considering the time frame. People ask me what the cruelest creature on Earth is. My automatic response is humankind. Humans are the most unforgiving creatures I know. They're cold, heartless. People ask me why. Are you so scared of people? Because people have been the coldest and harshest beings I know. I give up if I don't wake up in the morning. Oh, wait. We'll get back to that. Hold on. Hold that thought. We'll get back to that. So here's my Twitter. Look at this, guys. My Twitter. Hey, welcome to my Twitter. This was my response. Again, I want to preface, I didn't have everything together when I said this. I was very emotional. I was very upset. My boundaries had been broken. I was deeply disturbed and I was emotionally high. And then she called me heartless and unforgiving and cold. And I had an emotional outburst. And that was really uncool of me to have on Twitter. I will admit I should have waited until I had my brain cells together. Am I going to apologize for making the tweet? No. I'm not going to apologize for making the tweet. Everything there is pretty much factual. There's no proof of it, but it is factual. And I can prove a lot of the factual stuff, but we'll get to that. But everything said there was completely factual. I'm not going to apologize for the tweet. I could have done better, but I'm not going to apologize for it. I know I said earlier I apologize for some of it. I do apologize for some of it because some of what I said was like really uncool. Because I was emotionally not great. But a lot of this is sound, and I still stand by it. So since Arya has decided to call me heartless, unforgiving, and cold, I've decided the best course of action is to be open with you all about it. Today, Arya was removed from my series with the idea that we would stay friends. That sure as shit ain't happening after today. A few days ago, Arya was informed that their excessive and melodramatic tweets about me, their crush, made me extremely uncomfortable. Not the flirting in DMs, just the tweet. If they continued, I would stop being their friend. I set the boundary, and in less than 24 hours, they made another tweet being melodramatic, saying they regretted how they felt about their crush. Because of this, with Kat's help, I decided to stop my relationship with Arya, referring to like the platonic. I have to reiterate that. The next day, they messaged Kat and started talking shit behind my back. They made it seem like I had singled them out and was being over dramatic for a boundary. Kat came to me with it, and so tonight I stopped our friendship with hopes that this would be over. Nope. Apparently, they decided to continue their inappropriate tweets about me, so I'll explain my other reasons for why I left. In Arya's series, there are 4 main ships with Arya's characters. Me and Kat played 2, and the other 2 were played by minors. I want to reiterate that the minors' names were not mentioned. That, again, is important for later on. Arya is 31 and was encouraging a ship with characters whose actors were 2 times younger than her. Microwave, which is the actor that's being talked about, is 15, or was 15, at the time that these tweets were made. I'm pretty sure he's 16 now. Yeah, okay, I'm right. I was like, he had a birthday, I think. But he was 15 at the time. He was 2 times younger than Arya. And she's encouraging a ship. That's gross. 10 years younger than Arya. It's fucking weird. It's fucking creepy that a 31-year-old is playing a just-turned 18-year-old. Her series not only glorifies a toxic relationship. By the way, originally Matsuki was going to rape Arya. I think that's the lightest way of putting it. And that was hinted heavily on in the fan server. And Microwave just confirmed that is. Yep, that was a thing. It was very uncomfortable, especially for somebody who, raise his hand, has been raped. Really not cool. Just not, no. Especially considering that, potentially Arya would have been a minor when that was happening. Uncomfy noises. They're 15. Even Kat, who is an adult, is more than 10 years younger than Arya. It's fucking weird. It's fucking creepy that a 31-year-old is playing a just-turned 18-year-old. Oh, wait. I already got this. All right, what? Sorry. I'm dyslexic. It not only glorifies toxic relationship, but encourages the mistreat of a race because they're just animals and sees this as acceptable. There's a lot of future lore that I won't reveal because I can't, and that is more problematic than this. We're going to get to all of that. It was even brought up that if Matsuki and Arya ship was problematic, it was even brought up that the Matsuki and Arya ship was problematic, and Arya said they would fix it even though some 100-plus-year-old vampire being attracted to a just 18-year-old wouldn't have been fixed with the solution that was given. No, if Arya was aged older, it would not have fixed the problem that Matsuki's dead wife, who, by the way, he had 2 wives before Arya in the series. Both of which died of relatively old age. So yeah, dates are given. It's weird. It's creepy. Basically dated Arya's grandmother and is now attracted to her. It's weird. Arya's behavior is not only unacceptable with how they treated me, their series encourages disgusting themes. So from this point forward, I will no longer work with AryaFein. I'm sorry I didn't say something sooner about the inappropriate nature of her series. And then that was just going to be the end of that. But it just kind of continued on because, oh boy. This started happening. She started threatening to kill herself. Which was obviously really not cool. Not only not cool, but really fucking not cool. She's being called out for racism and pedophilia and kind of disrespecting boundaries. And her response was, oh, well, then I'll just kill myself then. Haha. See, look, you can't call me out for my shit or else I'll hurt myself. Which is not cool. It's not okay. And it's very triggering. So a lot of this is, I don't want to read a lot of this out loud because honestly, it makes me extremely uncomfortable even reading some of this. So I guess spoiler, trigger warning. It's going to get worse from here because there are slurs in here at some point. We're going to get to that. I don't know if I'll be alive tomorrow. I'm sorry for everything. I really do. This might be my last announcement. I wish I was dead. My crimes, I can't take it back. So from this point, this is the tweet that I am sorry about. Because, oh boy. Oh boy. Update, now threatening to unalive themselves, just more manipulative behavior from someone who has tried to unalive themselves. I'm appalled by these tactics to make it seem like a good person after they called me unforgiving and heartless after they broke my boundaries. I will apologize. I shouldn't have been as blunt about this as I was, but it was extremely triggering for me to have them threaten to kill themselves because I said that I felt disrespected. That I called them out for behavior that was like unacceptable. This is not okay. The racism and the homophobia, which I didn't talk about in this, but I mentioned a little bit earlier, and just like the straight out pedophilia that happened in the series was so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And it continued from there. Because then Arya made a tweet. I'm going back and forth a little bit. I apologize. Arya made a tweet. It's funny how a post can be misrepresented and my privacy just jumped out there when I've kept my mouth quite silent. It was not misinterpreted. You talked shit about me and I fucking said the truth out loud. You don't like it? I'm sorry. I've kept my mouth quite silent. No, you fucking didn't. Anyways, due to circumstances, I've terminated my recording server and my fan server. Guilt tripping. I was going to explain my series as part of the finale of season 1, but I will be terminating all episodes recordings and just writing a script, which I will personally narrate. So basically, she's saying she's still going to continue the series, even though it's been pointed out for having problematic themes. Cool beans. After that, I'm not sure if I'll proceed as a YouTuber. It's a toxic environment where people tear each other apart at their lowest. Every mistake is scrutinized and deemed an instant ban. You're a pedophile. Just straight up, you're a pedophile. You were attracted to a minor. You talked constantly about how him flirting with you made you blushy and shit. Like, you talked heavily about the fact that, like, you know, and that's the one screenshot that was shown was a conversation where it had been mentioned that like Arya spoke in person that like, oh, if Microwave was old enough, he's my type. And I want to make it perfectly clear, this is not cancellation, as Save just put it very nicely in the chat, and I want to give him credit for his words. No one's canceling her. No one's scrutinizing her. No one's deeming it an instant ban. This is a crime. This is criminal activity. You're talking about wanting to fuck in front of minors. And fuck a minor. Really not okay. Like, there's no circumstance where this is acceptable. I've done this for 3 years and watched people literally destroy each other. I'm tired of it. It's not my forte. I think I've had enough. I'll remain where I am left, but I don't plan on recording any more content other than the end of my season 1 and my explanation and logic of my dark series. I hope you still are here for those that remained. Saying it's a dark series does not excuse certain things. A dark series excuses topics of abuse. And it does cover topics of rape and stuff like that when it's handled correctly. This series did not handle it correctly. In fact, it glorified a lot of it, which was the problem. Not that it was dark stuff, but because it was handled inappropriately and in a way that was extremely uncomfortable for those who have been through these traumas. And while, I've not personally experienced the same racism that a person of color has, and I'm not going to claim that I have heritage of slavery. And I have family who are still alive who were slaves. And it's incredibly uncomfortable. It's really sad because I realized all of this. I realized because I was talking to one of them and tried to explain the series I was working on with a friend. And I had to stop explaining it to them because it became uncomfortable. Incredibly uncomfortable for the both of us. And we had a conversation later. They're okay. I'm glad they're okay. I was really sad that I made them upset because I know I brought up some really bad memories trying to explain this. But this stuff was like, this stuff isn't okay. This isn't acceptable. And if you sit here and say this is fine and this is acceptable, I don't want you here. That's been my entire thing this whole time. You think this is great and fine? Go for it. You're just a shitty person, but go for it. I just want literally nothing to do with you because this is disgusting. And yes, even if you don't say out loud, oh, I'm okay with pedophilia, by being around someone like this, you are enabling that behavior. You are condoning it and saying it is acceptable, whether you say it's not acceptable or not. It's irrelevant. And I'm sorry, this whole argument about like how, oh, I can stay neutral. When people are being hurt, it's not okay. At the end of the day, well, I'm going to quote SK here again. Wow, just my people in the meat chat are just, they're on point. Actions speak a lot louder than words. And you can say you don't support this stuff, but being around these people, I'm sorry, I'm incredibly uncomfortable around pedophiles. They make me extremely uncomfortable. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's vile behavior. Being around somebody who's racist, homophobic, it makes me uncomfortable. Homophobic, maybe not as much, just because kind of have to be sometimes. And while it's not cool, I wouldn't say it's the same like reaction to somebody who's a pedophile. Not saying that like one is worse than the other, just like personal experience stuff, but it's still like kind of like uncomfortable. I don't like being around those kind of people. People who are homophobic, people who are transphobic. It's uncomfortable. It's gross. It's really nasty. So the fact that you feel comfortable being around a person who's like this, like, yeah, I'm gonna make assumptions. You know what? They should make assumptions. Because if you're not uncomfortable being around a person like this, like, I'm going to be honest, I genuinely don't understand how somebody can look at something like this and say they want to stay neutral and that they're fine with somebody doing these kind of actions. It's just kind of nasty and gross. So anyways, continuing on, from this point, we were going back and forth on Twitter a lot. So there's a lot of back and forth here that I'm going to be reading out. The fact that you call it misinterpretations is gross. You say you never praised any of the social issues, but you did. Constantly you praised the Arya ex-Rain ship, even though Rain was her caretaker. And I can get probably audio confirmation. Microwave, can you audibly confirm for me? Just that, like, yeah, the Arya kind of pushed for, like, fan art and stuff to be talked about in, like, the fan server.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because, like, obviously the fan server doesn't exist anymore, so I can't really get screenshots of that.
Yeah, it's like...
But here's the thing. I don't need screenshots. At this point, I have so many people who can say that they've seen this, that there isn't a necessary. It isn't necessary. They're witnesses. The fact that so many people are like, oh, we'll just ignore the like 20 witnesses that say that Arya did do this because Arya said she didn't. So, not to mention they were shown proof. I don't get it. To say that they want to stay neutral is incredibly strange and off. Yep, pretty much. I agree with you there. They were shown proof and they still want to stay neutral. So, because by the way, I'm going to mention them by name now. K Productions, the one who, this is kind of the reason why this is all being made, I guess, was shown all of these screenshots. Like, all of these were shown to him, and he still was okay with it. I even was in a VC explaining things to him. And he was totally fine with all of this. Which is madly uncomfortable for a male adult. Because, yes, Kay is an adult. So Kay does understand better than this. Really fucking weird. Anyways. Drake is seen as a good guy after all the abuse and action he takes throughout the series. That's true. The series as a whole puts the whole Fein race as sex slaves, and it's disgusting. Also true. Arya's innocent. Proof of that. PC has shown proof. Not all of it's good, but amount to get the point across. And Arya has shown nothing to counter, nor has any of her defense. Yeah, at this point, I've shown enough proof. Prove me wrong. Because, like, I've shown proof. This is not a problem. After this video, you say Arya's still a good person. Great, cool. Show me proof. Because I've very much proven that this isn't true. So anyways, continuing on. Hell, there's a plot about two gay foxes hiding that they're gay. It's not needed for the main plot. It feels forced and extremely homophobic. You were even told by Kat and Matsuki, that the Mitsuki ex Arya was weird and that she wasn't comfortable with it. Did you listen to the ship and make it stop? Nope. Because the solution wouldn't have fixed not only the problem in the first place, but that you already had heavily encouraged your fans to ship them. You knew it made people uncomfortable and how it looked. You ignored it because you didn't care. With how much you want to defend this, its gross and disgusting behaviors, I wouldn't be surprised if you were doing more than just grooming minors. You even had an adult server, which you allowed several minors in, which, by the way, I'm going to real quick. Here you go. Here's one of those screenshots. This is one of the minors who was allowed in that server. As a minor, I was allowed in the server that was specifically for adults by AryaFein. And then we have Microwave, who was also allowed in the server. Fun fact. There were like 4 minors allowed in this server. Dear Lord. Because it was you, it was...
it was me.
Yeah, like
2
Flicker
other people, which I will not...
I think Clayton was in there.
Yes.
And I feel like there was another person that I can't remember.
Ooh, I
feel like there was one other minor in there.
Let me...
Maybe that's just me. But Arya talked a lot in there about sex shit and stuff. They're like... Yeah, Zero was also in there at some point, weren't they? Oh, was Dusty also... Oh, shit. I didn't even know Dusty was in there. I don't think I was a part of that. I think I remember Zero being in there, though. Ooh, yikes. So at the very least, they can confirm whether they were or not, if they wish. But at the very least, there's 2 of your minors that have confirmed that they were in there, and I can give you me and Goat and several other people who can confirm they were also there too, because, I was there. I saw it. Really cool. No, I'm being sarcastic. I want to preface I'm being sarcastic, because I'm trying to deal with this stressful situation with sarcasm. Anyways, sorry, Microwave. Well, oh! Yeah,
yeah,
because
Michael is my cousin.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who can confirm this stuff. At this point, I've given claim and I've given evidence, whether it be via the screenshots or whether it be witness statements. If you don't believe what's being said, get the fuck out, please. For the love of God. Because Arya has done nothing but just claim that she did nothing wrong and didn't know anything about it, which she did. She did know about this. And not once did she give an apology. The one time that an apology was made properly only addressed the fact that she broke my boundaries and then proceeded to victimize herself. And that was after my conversation with Kay. All of this happened before. None of it was apologized for. Not a single thing. And the apology she made was just guilt tripping. I'm the victim. Woe is me. We'll get to that in just a minute. I'm trying to figure out. Okay. I know where we're at now. So I continued making tweets at this point, trying to talk about it. I think the worst part of it all is that she's yet to admit she's wrong. She blames it on misinformation at this point, and I also want to give out the screenshots of all this bullshit. For her pushing ships, to romanticizing abuse, to her obsessive behaviors about me, not only publicly, but behind my back. So the message I sent, setting my boundaries, and the shit talking she did to Kat. It hurt to know that I ended up with another star arc, Alex, in my cast. One moment, she's talking about quitting and how awful and horrible YouTube is, then keeps going. Not surprising, though. She went back to Kirito constantly when he supposedly abused her, so just more solid proof that her threatening to kill herself and saying she was hospitalized is just nothing but manipulative tactics. I hope you get the help that you deserve, you kiddo grooming creepo. Now, last part, I apologize. However, we'll get to that. Get to that in just a little moment. We'll get to that little spicy detail. It was very frustrating how a lot of what was being said was boiled down to just miscommunication when, like, it's there and she's being told it's wrong. And her response is just, oh, you're seeing things wrong, when it's not just one person. Like, at this point, as you can see, people who were a part of this responded to these tweets. You can check to see that other people can collaborate these, like, statements. It's really weird. Anyways, they said that the other people didn't speak up at all when, like, there's so much, like, text evidence of it. They just didn't go looking for it at all, which is hilarious to me. But anyways, I've been discharged from the hospital this morning. I want to thank the anonymous person for sending me a crisis line. That was me. I say that because I had a friend send it to them because they were threatening to kill themselves. And so that was just like, just send it to them, the crisis line. Within most states, if not all, and I know Florida has some of the same laws, when you are hospitalized for suicidal ideation or suicidal attempts, they lock you in a hospital for 48 hours without any form of electronic device, which includes your phone. So you can't be active on any form of social medias. It's to help you. Arya was on Facebook active within those supposed 48 hours of her being hospitalized. Several people saw it. Tails is one of those people. So I'm not going to say that she wasn't hospitalized, because that would be wrong of me, and I have no physical proof of that. However, I do just want to point out the fact that, like, people saw her active on Facebook within 48 hours, which is the time frame that she's supposedly being hospitalized, which she would have had literally no ability to use any form of electronic device during that time. So it's a little weird and a little strange. I'm not sure. I might delete all the content, start fresh. It honestly seems like the best, considering all the people I hurt and the hard feelings. But I also do not want people's hard work to go to such waste either. Give me time. I really do need it. Honestly, from somebody who was in the cast, and I think several people who helped with the cast can probably confirm this, but I'm good with her deleting those videos. I don't want my name on anything related to her, to be honest. Like, waste my time, waste my hard work. Please, for the love of God, delete it. I want nothing. I want nothing to do with it. And the mute chat has exploded.
For the love of God.
SK, you wanna speak out loud as well? Because you're a part of this?
Why not? Yeah, I don't mind them being deleted.
Yeah,
I wasn't in that many, but still.
Like, and I see another person who, if they want to remain unnamed, but they can. But yeah, no. There's several people here in the mute chat being like, no, please delete it, please. Cause like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want my name on anything that has pedophile work. Like, if I honestly could, I would go back through all the videos that I have with Arya in them and delete them. If I honestly could, but one, I don't have the time to go through that many videos. I'm going to be honest, I don't have the time for it. And two, more importantly, it's not her work that would be gotten rid of, it's everyone else's work. She's one person out of a pool of hundreds who've worked on my content, and I wouldn't want that to go to waste. But if I could take out her for like a hot minute, I would in a heartbeat. No questions asked. So, anyways, that was what my response was mostly just, how were you in the hospital if, like, you had access to your devices? But obviously that wasn't necessarily appropriate. So this is what she put on YouTube. By the way, again, these two are public for people to see. So for her fans to see. Hey guys, I'm sorry for the YouTube silence. So much has happened in so little time. I've lost many friends through my own poor choices. Apparently she fucking admit that they're your poor choices, but, saying poor choices does not come even close to what you've done. And is very dismissive of what you've done. I've hurt many people and had decided to unalive myself on Thursday night. Again, not something you mention to your fans, especially when there's potentially kids. Someone gave me a hotline and I needed the help. I'm alive and all right with some new scars physically and mostly mentally. That's kind of fucked up to mention. And again, a lot of guilt tripping. I haven't decided what to do with my channel yet or acting. I'll figure out, let you know, continue with the rest of it. Love you guys. Blah, 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 blah. Yuck. Nasty. Oh, this. Hey. We got to this. So it was brought up to me, and I remember this picture. This character right here is a character I was supposed to play, Genshi. And obviously this photo, a little explicit. A little kind of strange. This was made the day that I said I would play Genshi. And she said she wasn't obsessed. Anyways, this is just some extra proof of Tails popping, leaving. Some of this is a little miscellaneous, a little more sporadic. Also, she requested for Tails to remove Tails' stuff from their inventory. That was kind of uncool. What's up? What's happening? Oh, the drawing was made before. It was just posted on Toy House the day. Oh! I don't make it any better, though. That's still kind of weird. I mean, like, it was drawn before, but that's still... Okay. So, correction. The drawing previously was drawn prior to what had happened. But it was posted publicly on Toy House the day I said yes. Still kind of weird. Still a little creepy. Also, I would like to preface that Genji's and Matsuki and Rain's Toy House pages have since been deleted. Completely removing the characters from the public eye, which I think is her trying to hide that she did bad things. So, I've heard enough. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, but I'll tell you my reasoning behind my series. That's it. Ah, yes, you don't have to prove why you said slavery was okay repeatedly. You're right. You're right. White fucking ass. Wait, so it was made before you had given consent. Okay. Genji isn't my character. I never owned Genji. Genji was a character I was to play. The art was made long before it had even been thought of that I was going to be playing that character. It just happened to be posted publicly for everyone to see the day I said yes. So while that could be coincidental, for somebody who said they're not obsessed, it's a little creepy. The more I'm hearing about my series and the interesting misinterpretation, multiple people came to this conclusion, dude. It's honestly deplorable and disgusting. Ooh, you use the big old fancy words. Ooh. My series originally intended to be satire on social issues, but it never condoned or less praised those social issues. Yes, it did. It was meant to educate as a secondary objective. My primary objective was to tell my own personal story through a watered-down fantasy reality of what really happened to me, in a story meant to frown on the things. I've thought about it, really, and I believe I will explain my series and my own breakdown of my series and the social issues and constructs, because why not? I have the time now for sure, because people have clearly misread my series. It's alright, though. It's okay. I'll explain my series and move forward. I'm not leaning more on voiceovers with scripts, but we'll see. Only time will tell. We'll see. Satire. Satire. It was satire, guys. Oh my god, if you saw her series, it's not satire. It's not satire. There's nothing funny. There's no jokes. There's no humor. It's a lot of really fucked up shit. It's not even over-exaggerated. Like, if you call having vampires in your series immediately satire, that's not how that works. Nothing was funny. There was no jokes. It wasn't a series to laugh about. Like, okay, once or twice there's like funny little haha jokes. That does not make it satire. Good God. Oh, okay. That's, I know when that is. Okay. At this point, I also got proof from somebody else, basically, that, Clayton was, mentioning that because he was, how do I word this? Microwave wasn't really okay with playing Rain anymore because of the fact that Arya is 31 and he's 15. Well, he did say he was okay with it. I will say this time and time again. I've said this on Twitter. I've said this in videos. I've said this in posts. I will say it as many times as it's necessary. Minors cannot, under any circumstance, give any form of consent. So anything that is flirty, sexual innuendos, or sexual conversations cannot be consented to by a minor. Microwave could say he was okay with it. He cannot legally say he was okay with it. Arya is an adult in the situation. The legal age of consent in Canada is 16, and he's under that age. Therefore, if something was to happen to Microwave, it would be Arya's fault. And guess what? Because both of them are American, the age of consent is 18.
Wait. Age consent is 18?
Yes. You cannot consent to having sex with someone 4 years older than you. It's either 3 or 4 years older to you until you turn 18. You can technically give consent if you're a 16-year-old having fun times with an 18-year-old. Not anyone older.
Yeah.
So while technically age of consent is 16.
Yeah, 16 in my state.
Yeah. Even though technically age of consent is 16, it's only under the guise that you're having fun times with someone who's 18. or
Yeah.
also a minor. It does not refer to anyone who is an adult. And 21 and over definitely doesn't count under that guideline.
Yeah.
So there is no legal way that Microwave could give any form of consent. He's under that age, therefore something would have happened. Didn't Microwave have his character shipped with Arya's characters though? The Vanya ship came before Rain. In that situation, Arya is still the adult. Therefore, she should have said no. If anything happened, Arya would have been at fault. And that's true. If Arya genuinely wasn't thinking about doing anything, Arya would have said no. I mean, fuck. I have one of the other minors in my cast and me were shipped in a relationship for a short period of time. I've got no problem with saying that. Streak played Nox for me for a short period of time, and Nox and Nyx are supposed to be dating. There is nothing sexual happening between those two. They're animatronics and they're dead kids. It's a funny haha series. Nothing's happening. There was light flirting, and even then, if you watch, I really didn't flirt with Nox while Streak was playing him because it was weird and it felt uncomfortable, and that's why Goat now plays Nox, because Goat is an adult. And I'll admit to that. It was a little strange. It was a little weird. But there was nothing sexual happening. There are so many sexual conversations happening about, like, Clayton as Drake playing these characters. Now, I want to reiterate that at this point, publicly, I have never used Clayton's name. Clayton's name was never used publicly. Not once. Not ever. I say that because from this point on, it got real messy. It got real messy. So somebody followed me who, like, in their bio had that they had a fan server for Arya. I was like, okay, I need to say this again. Anyway, since obviously I wasn't clear the first time, let me be a bit more louder this time. Arya is a groomer and is dangerous around minors. She was in a roleplay and sexual relation with a minor at 17 and had spoke interest of another who is 15. Mind you, she's 31 years old. This is a conversation between somebody that's not me. I want to preface that because apparently that was what, like, oh, this is a friend of PC's. I hate this person. I hate both these people, to be quite fair. They both suck. One of them dated Arya, and the timestamp of this conversation was when that person went and visited Arya. That's before they broke up. And this just adds on to all the other stuff that was talked about Microwave. This is just the stuff that I had screenshots of. She had conversations with me when she dated one of her last partners, who I believe was 18, that she was waiting for them to turn 18 to date them. This is appalling behavior. On top of that, she decided to delete all traces of the characters Matsuki and Rain from her channel. These were two of the three characters that were called out directly for being used to praise abusive and toxic behaviors. She even deleted videos in her series that were supporting the treating of people being animals. I want to clear that out. Those videos were not deleted. I just couldn't see them on the home page. They're not deleted. They're still up there. You can still go see them. Funny how she made a big deal about not wanting to delete everyone's hard work. But as soon as she realizes it makes her look bad, she removes them. She never removed them. That I'll specify. Those were never removed. She has also talked many times in front of minors about sexual activities with several witnesses. She also groomed the 17-year-old that thinking that because they were ace, it makes the sexual relation with their characters okay. Yeah. Clayton made a statement about how because he was ace to a friend, that it made it okay that he was in multiple relationships with adults. It's the fact that the 17-year-old thinks it's okay for him to be in that kind of a relationship with a 31-year-old is not okay in itself, but oh well. This behavior is gross. Thinking of minors that way is gross, and putting minors in those positions is even worse. I condemn anyone who is willing to overlook any of this on top of her abuse towards me for setting boundaries. I will be removing anyone from her cast and fan server who wishes to associate themselves with a child groomer. And then it escalated from there. Because, you see, Clayton here. Oh, Clayton. I've yet to use his name. And Clayton here decided to @ me. Now, mind you, this is a new Twitter. I blocked his original Twitter for so many other reasons, which we'll get to. So many reasons I blocked him. He made a second Twitter just to @ me to get my attention for this. And then said I was dragging this on. I didn't mention his name. He's the one who added me. You're dragging this on. My health is worse due to all the drama you're spreading. Just a reminder that anyone calling minors being preyed on by pedos drama is a gross take. I'm sorry your health is worse. Maybe you should see a therapist to help with that. However, that does not stop the fact that you condone her behavior and find her sexual, I can't fucking spell to save my life, relations with minors completely okay. Plus her manipulative and abusive behaviors towards myself. Also, how am I dragging this on when you're the one who added me? So let's stop pretending and just admit you were looking for attention on a subject that 100% isn't about you. More conversations. By the way, they also sent a lot of this in DMs. It's just the same stuff. As the 17-year-old minor, I would like you to stop posting about me. I did not say their name. Due to the fact that most of the information was wrong. Arya has not tried anything towards me. Well, there's no proof of that. There's proof that you seem to think this is okay. That's the proof that's there. Openly talk about sexual activities. That was me who answered the question to somebody in the cast when Arya was AFK. Yeah, sexual activities was talked about a lot in that VC. A lot. And Clayton is right. He did. Once or twice. But that doesn't come close to the times that Arya spoke about it, which was what I was referring to specifically. First of all, you allowed your cast to use stolen set pieces. He stole the original NMPH set twice, as well as skins in your series and stolen characters. Brimstone is the name of one that was owned by Kirito that he openly admits to stealing. He was very proud of it. I think a couple people in this VC have heard him talk about that. There's one. There's one who says they have. And Microwave also says they have.
Yep.
Yeah. He, very proudly talked about stealing stuff. And I have, screenshots of, him, actually, the Delilah character was taken, the skin, and just retextured. Arya was the one who openly spoke about sexual activities on many cases. It was not just one. Arya answered directly to a minor about Drake doing the naughties with Arya and having a kid. It was not you. There were several people in that call. I'm not even sure you were there at the time. No, he was not. The one that we were talking about. He tried to steal Goldie from you too, right? Yeah, he stole Goldie. That did happen. So I believe it was the Christmas special episode. I believe even Nixel was there for that conversation. So there are other people that heard it. It's not just my information. This is coming from many people, even counting the 15-year-old minor, hey, Microwave, as well as the minor who asked the question, hey, JMG, which was the situation I was referring to. JMG asked about it, and Arya started talking about it. It was fucking weird. Many of these situations were brought to me by people. You're not calling me a liar. You're calling everyone else's stories lies. Just because she may not have tried anything IRL with you doesn't change the inappropriate nature of the role plays that are public on YouTube. That's the thing. After all of this, if Clayton was hurt by these, I'm sorry. I feel bad. But I cannot protect everyone. I can't keep everyone safe. And he is putting himself in a dangerous situation with a pedophile and screaming wolf. I can't keep him safe. Is he going to put himself in those positions? I can't guarantee that he's not going to be hurt. What I can guarantee is that a majority of people will get the justice they deserve for this shit. Which is what I aim to do. Oh, then there's just this. Just thought about this and saw this and thought I would point it out. I blocked this kid a few times on several different platforms. I'm pretty sure I blocked him on here on Twitter before. So I found it kind of odd that they were able to @ me. Then I went and looked, and lo and behold, the account was made just this month. So let me get this straight. I'm the one who's dragging this on, except you not only added me, You commented on one of my videos telling me to look at Twitter. That did happen. But you also made an entire Twitter account just so that you could at me, telling me I was dragging it on. Because your previous accounts were blocked. And because you were, I don't know, stealing my characters and sets. And I'm the one dragging this on. And before I hear the same argument I've heard before about me attacking a minor, being a minor does not excuse you being a prick. Which is true. It doesn't. Furthering on is just a lot of just watching everything happen, sitting back is liberating. I don't have to stress anymore about due dates. I forgot how nice it is to just relax, and I'm happy. Just them trying to look at me, I'm a good person. I have so much to say, I'm worried about people picking apart what I say, guilt tripping, and scandalizing my name even further than it has. This is no scandal. You're literally a pedophile. I've destroyed this post 10 times. My main point is that I will keep going. Even if one person follows me or likes the video, I won't go away. I'm a good person. No, you're fucking not. My main value is to be a good person as always. No, you're fucking not. Because if you were, you would actually listen to the people telling you you're not being one. A better person as I age. Everyone that misjudges me or overcalculates my mistakes, I wish them all well. I honestly do. I will focus on being a better person always. But you're not even admitting you did anything wrong. My main theme is to be a good person forever and always. I want to educate myself and always strive to do better. Cool. Then admit you made a mistake. Admit you fucked up. Admit that you committed a fucking crime. This is not a scandal. This is a crime. This is illegal. You can't get better if you don't realize you messed up. That's the fucking first step, as SK pointed it out. That's the first step. You can say, I make mistakes. I admit to my mistakes. And then just not admit to them. That's not how that works. I've made mistakes like any other human being. I learn and accept. I will always fight myself, not anyone else, to always be a good person. Yeah. I'm honestly focused on the future. I won't look back because it's toxic. I don't care who drops. I'm used to being pain abandoned. There's just more guilt tripping. It's just a lot of guilt tripping. That's the screenshot from before of the conversation between the two. That everyone kept saying was me. It's not me. These were not my conversations. Actually, if anything, Microwave can confirm not who was in it, because I'm not going to use their names, but Microwave can confirm they're the one who gave the screenshot to me.
Yep.
There you go. It's not me in that screenshot.
Not PC. There's no. Honestly, is there even the word P in there? I can't.
I don't even call you Aaron.
Yeah, you call me Microwave or Micro.
I call you Micro. Because you're short.
Yeah,
No, I could.
huh.
But seriously, though. This is not me. I did not take the screenshot. It would have been so much clearer if I had taken the screenshot. But Microwave got it from someone else, so.
Yep. I actually...
Therapy went through well. In between, I'll be working on... Yeah, whatever. Saying should go to therapy. Here's the tweet that Clayton posted. There's more. There's the other tweet. There's what was sent in DMs. And yeah. So, from that point forward, it was mostly quiet. Every once in a while, I'd get, a comment. This one I pointed out because this one's entertaining as hell. And I actually did go through and break this one down. So I'll just read my own words. Fuck off, Pandy. You did this before. I don't agree with her 100% of the way, but still, I would love to see her grow and blossom from all this toxic behavior. She's already apologized, and that should be enough. And she's trying to change, but you are putting her in a bad spotlight. Just like Kirito the Wolf Fox was fine, but now Arya/Mary. This is obviously Arya's sibling. This is Arya's sibling, isn't it?
I honestly do not know.
I've never seen anyone refer to Arya as Mary.
Yes. And this person actually used to watch my channel, so like I know this person's name. But like I honestly don't know if it's a family member or a friend. That's yeah. I honestly don't know.
Someone calls her Mary. Who the fuck? Like, I know that was one of her characters, but like, does anyone actually call her that?
That's that's
She wishes. Sorry.
yeah,
Interesting.
DMs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that Mary is, or
Yeah.
no? I knew that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, I'm aware of that. That's why I'm saying I think this is one because like no one online, like no one in her cast ever called her Mary
Yeah.
because that is her IRL name. And no one calls her that. So I don't understand why. I don't know if that's her sibling. It's either someone related or like an IRL friend. It's very weird. I just hate the fact that I have seen a grown lady talk behind other people's backs. Cool, love the misgendering. Gotta love that. The picture doesn't show that you and Arya were discussing anything, just you and a colleague. That wasn't me in the conversation, and it certainly wasn't a colleague. Just stop because like this, and leave her alone. Leave her be. Enough is enough. She has learned to not do that. No, she hasn't. That's why she stopped posting videos because other people put her down. She needs help, yes, but the people she called friends abandoned her. This is guilt tripping the victim, and this is victim blaming. Both not okay. Her leaving her vulnerable and all this hate for a goddamn role play. Yes, but just because it's a role play doesn't mean you get to be a pedophilic creep. Doesn't mean you get to talk about racism like, ooh, look at this. I'm a racist bastard. Like, that's not... No. Just stop being like this before you lose what's left. I'm sorry for the bad words, but I'm expressing myself in my opinion. They're blocked, by the way. They can't respond to anything anymore. But this is what I said about them. I said this also on the YouTube channel, but I'm pulling it up on here. Because I already have it up here, and I feel like it might be a bit easier to see. I don't know how much of this is actually visible in OBS, and I do apologize if it's not overly visible or if it's blurry or anything. I just realized that. I'm really sorry if this is blurry. There's not much else I can do about this. That's why I'm kind of reading it out loud. But this was made on the post about Arya. I just want to address it. This person has been blocked and can't leave any more colorful comments for me. I'm going to assume that this is either an alt for Arya or family. So let's get to the point, step by step, and break this down. Fuck off, Pandy, you did this before. Call out pedos? Yeah, I'm pretty well known for protecting my cubs and making sure they're aware of danger. It is my responsibility as a creator to make sure that I am making responsible choices with cast members. When those cast members turn out to be dangerous, it's also part of my job to make sure that people are aware. I would love to see her grow back and blossom from all this toxic behavior. I'd love to see her grow too. That, however, does not change the fact that as of right now, she's dangerous around kids, which is true. Honestly, I'd love to see her get better. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love to see her get better. But her being around kids is not going to help her get better. And her being supported by people who are saying that these behaviors are acceptable, it's not going to make her get better. She's not going to get better. And also, just because you're trying to get better does not, like, if you try to murder someone and then you're like, oh, I'll get better. And, but I also still want to hang around this person with a knife. Like, no. Just because you're trying to get better doesn't mean anyone should be putting themselves in harm's way, especially when it comes to case of minors. That's not acceptable. She's already apologized. That should be enough. I'm sorry, but it's not. She's saying sorry. It doesn't change the pain she put not only me through, but several others. And at this point, she hadn't really apologized. The only apology that had been made was just sorry to the people I've hurt. That's not specific. That's not admitting she did anything wrong. That's just trying to, like, generically cover a statement. There's a word for that. I can't think of what it is right now. She already apologized. You're putting her in a bad spotlight. She did that to herself. That's what happens when you're a child predator. Just like Kirito, he was fine. But now Arya, he wasn't fine either. I wouldn't say he was just as bad, worse, or less, but what happened with him was a completely separate issue. Generalizing. There you go. Thank you, Ness. I hate to see a grown lady talk behind other people's backs. Behind? This is public, my dude. This isn't behind anyone's back. If anything, this is very loud because people should be made aware of this. Also, please do not call me a lady. That is gross as hell. Please check my pronoun page if you're unsure of what to refer to me as. The term is only to be used in a joking manner because I have trauma with being a Christian over being called a young lady. So, gotta love that misgendering. The picture also doesn't show that you or Arya were discussing anything, just you and a colleague. Ha! Yeah, that's correct. Neither of the people in the screenshot are Arya. However, neither of them are me. Both people I don't talk to. The convo happened when they were still friends with Arya, and even without the screenshot, it doesn't change the several people as myself who have been affected by the other behavior spoken. Dismissing the whole, claim because of one thing has got to be the most ridiculous thing that these people like to do. You're wrong about this one thing, therefore, gotcha, bitch. No, that's not how that works. And it's very frustrating that you think that's how that works. Let's see. Just stop being like this. This tells me anything. Well, she has learned not to do that. That's why she stopped posting videos, because other people put her down. You mean she's facing the consequences of her actions? Whoa, crazy. It's almost like when you're a pedophile, people tell you, hey, fuck off. She needs help. No shit, Sherlock. That was the idea of making this public. We had spoken to her on how it wasn't appropriate how her role plays were, but she wouldn't listen. So-called friends abandoned her. They left because she was abusive and was hurting them. She hurt me. She hurt so many people. It's incredibly toxic to use this manipulative language. For a goddamn role play. Just because it's a role play doesn't make the sexual activities any better. In fact, trying to hide it behind just being a role play is even more gross. Just stop being like this. Again, like this. Not being okay with pedophiles? No thanks. I think pedos are gross, and I am sure I'm not going to stop being like that anytime soon. Before you lose what's left. Is that a threat? Kind of sounds like one. However, I don't think I'm going to lose anything anytime soon. I've got an amazingly supportive family, fantastic friends who are super supportive, and some of the best friends a pup could ask for. This is your opinion, and then you can see yourself out. I don't like pedophilia supporters, and I don't do YouTube for subs anyways. So cheers. Yeah. So a lot of this is just repulsive shit. Just more of me talking about it. Oh, wait, we'll get to that. Hold on. That actually is important. We're going to start here. So, we have a bunch of extra stuff. From Microwave, and other people, who have decided to go unnamed, talking about, some of the incidences that happened in VC with people, or just one-on-one. Apparently, Arya did talk a lot about Drake sexing in bed. But here you go. You wanted screenshot proof. You wanted the witness testimonies. I'll give you your fucking witness testimonies. So sick and tired of this shit. Here's one from SK about one that leads into a bit more of a creepy territory.
Yeah. That was a fun episode to record.
Hang on, sorry. I'm not letting Arya dehydrate me.
Yeah. Good. Drink your water. It's a good idea.
Hey, look, guys, I'm drinking water.
Hydration's important.
I need to get more water bottles later. After this. Oh god, I've already been going for almost 2 hours. I'm so sorry, guys. This is very long. But there's a lot of proof, and I want to make sure to get it all out to you. I played the mother character, Reno, for Arya for a short bit. While recording an episode with a character called Vanya, I was asking who Arya was playing and why should I care. Apparently, I was told in the VC at the time was that Vanya was Drake and Arya's child, and that the character was like 8 or something at the time. That Reno had somehow adopted them. Still not sure what the deal was with that character, but I distinctly remembered being told at one point that Vanya and Arya was Arya and Drake's child. I was also told that she was supposed to get with Aaron in the future, which Aaron, I'm pretty sure, can confirm. Isn't Vanya the one that Aaron was supposed to date?
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yep.
Vanya was the child? I thought Vanya was
Yeah.
the sister.
No, Vanya was
Sister
the
of
child.
Arya and the child.
Vanya
At the
is
same time.
Arya's kid.
Yep.
What the
Yep.
Because originally it was supposed to be Arya's sister, if I remember correctly, and
That's because she was adopted by Reno somehow.
oh,
I
Yes.
don't understand the lore.
well,
Yes.
my brain cells. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
That
Yes.
was said in VC to me while we were recording the episode I mentioned.
Oh my
That-
gosh!
She was supposed to be Jake and Arya's child.
And Reno adopted her.
I don't know how that happened.
Yep.
Because technically, she shouldn't even exist at that time
This
period.
was the part of the lore that was really hard to wrap my head around because it like looped back around a bunch.
Also, Vanya was somehow human.
Yeah,
Like, no wolf, no vampire, just human.
And then Arya was gonna have a kid anyway, and I can't remember what the kid's new name was.
yeah.
But that
Don't-
was the character that Aaron was gonna get shipped with. And I remember that slightly vividly because I remember thinking, isn't Aaron supposed to be like older than Arya at this point in time? Why the fuck is he getting with Arya's kid? Hold up. Hang on. Whoa. Slow your roll. So yeah, this is like a whole thing and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it was canonically changed that that Vanya was no longer Arya and Drake's kid at all, that doesn't change the fact that like Aaron was still gonna end up being shipped with Arya's kid.
Yep.
That just ended up being a second.
Yeah,
card.
I wish that like never.
It's
honestly
nothing on
was
you.
an
It's
idea.
nothing on you. You're a child. This is something that like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is weird. There's no reason why that should not have been the first thought of like, Aaron is the same age as Arya, maybe older. And
Yeah,
you're telling
definitely
me
older.
that she gets, even if Aaron is supposedly younger than Arya, let's say Arya is 18, and let's even say that Aaron is 16. That's still really fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be real with you. That's still really fucking weird. And this was the shit that did get pointed out to her that was weird, and she did nothing about it.
You didn't finish reading mine.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I also didn't read through microwaves. I just realized. So, anyways, not sure what the deal was with that character, but I distinctly remember being told at one point that it was their child. I was also told that she was supposedly to get with Aaron in the future. Keep in mind that the character, the child, was canonically 8. I know she was 8 because the episode we recorded was that she used a spell to make herself 10 years older physically. She was still mentally the same age. So the child made herself 18. And therefore, it's all right for her to get with Aaron now.
I don't know if it like faded off.
That was the
like,
original plan?
If it wore off, yeah, that was like the last
was-
thing I recorded
that
before we
was-
left.
Uh-huh.
That was the last thing we recorded.
I don't
practically,
remember that. Oh my
Before
gosh.
the crow was introduced.
It wore off.
Which
even
was
if it
another
wore off,
character I
even
played.
if it wore off in the episode, it doesn't make it any weirder.
Yeah.
Like any less weird. Like, because that
Yeah.
just means that Arya is willing to like go to those extents to make it so that ages aren't
Also-
weird, which just still makes it weird.
But
That's still
also,
creepy. This
didn't
series is
mentally
creepy.
change. The child was still a child mentally, which
You know, I'm fine with aging characters down, like in an episode, like, oh, this character's a baby. But I feel really weird about episodes that are like this character, but an adult. Because it does get really kind of whack.
mm-hmm.
The closest thing that might ever happen is like alternate universes where it's like, oh, Belle grew up and got to be older, but like that wouldn't it wouldn't get to this point. There's some other loopholes that are happening here that are and mentally
I couldn't wrap
she
my
grew
head
up,
around
so it's
it.
fine. This is still weird. Okay, anyways, what Microwave said. Arya talked a bit about having a special night with Drake in the bed. Also, this one time in episode 12, Rain was supposed to confess to Arya in lore, and honestly, she was being really creepy with it. Oh, here we go. Here's another child. I understand the Arya thing isn't talked about much, but she did. So this was in another chat. They gave me permission to screenshot this. I understand the Arya thing isn't talked about much here, but she did tell me within the same sentence, me and Microwave play ships well together. She said that Microwave flustered her quite a few times before, because I mentioned that Lefty is easily flustered by Michael. Which is...
Yeah, now I'm like,
Arya would mention a lot about how Drake and her character would do no-no things when the actor was a minor and minors were present. She would get flustered by Aaron when he was a minor. One time, Arya mentioned an adult topic involving no-no stuff. Okay, I'm gonna level with you. Obviously, these two people, like Aaron here is a minor still, and you've got the other one who is, you know, a person, who are saying no and bedtime thing. Arya did talk about sex. She did talk about them having sexual intercourse. That was not shied away from. Obviously, you know, people are not necessarily comfortable talking about that. I'm saying it to explain it, but it was in depth. And I don't blame them for not wanting to talk about it. But I want to make that very clear that it's not that like, oh, she just said, oh, no stuff. There was actual stuff said. Involving no stuff in the chat full of minors on a rant. Yeah, like I'm not gonna expect Microwave to want to talk about sex. Sorry.
yeah, honestly, like, I just want to, like, that's why I put in quotations and everything, like.
Yeah. The only time with quick aging of a character, a time skip, and AU. But that's not really, like, a quick aging. That's like, you know, like, they've aged. They've actually taken the time to age. There's a difference between just appearing older and not actually making them mentally older, which is kind of weird. There was a scene in episode 12 with Arya's true power that made me especially uncomfortable. Rain was supposed to confess to Arya in lore. She was being kind of creepy during the overall scene. So stuff like that. After all this, it's just a lot of stuff back and forth. She's posting again. I want to remind people that Arya, I think I read through this. Okay, so, yes. So about this time, she started posting again, and I made a statement about some of the YouTubers she was working with. And, whew, boy, that went downhill. Because she's posting again, I just want to remind people that AryaFein is a groomer and a pedophile. I do not tolerate people who support people who are not willing to admit to get help for it. Anyone who I find supporting her will be blocked without question. Speaking of which, Pixela and Secret Has Fun both openly support her and say that that her pedophilia is okay. If I see anyone supporting either of them, I'll just block. I would rather not have fans that are willing to support such fucked up actions. Both of them are fully aware of what she's done and are okay with it. Secret wanted more stuff than witness testimonies and wanted screenshots. So here you go, Secret. Here you go. This is what you wanted. Secret, by the way, along with Kai, are the ones that made the video that they basically, oh god. That's the one video I showed you a screenshot of, that I showed you the video of, that they like went off about how this had something to do with Kirito, and because I worked with Kirito 2 years ago, which I didn't work for him, he worked for me, it means that I'm supporting pedophilia in the same way that they're supporting pedophilia because they still want to remain with Arya and are unwilling to leave. I don't know how these are the same instances. I do not understand. Like, these are not at all the same circumstance, and also there's 2 years of a difference. Oh, yeah, and he called my fans stupid. He called all you party cubs, like, stupid in that video. It got real bad. It got real bad. It got to the point where, like, oh, God. I'll go over the tweets of me talking about it, but, yeah. So, Kai Productions also is openly supporting pedophilia as well. I did see that a video was posted. I'll try to go over points like I normally do. I've watched through it so far. I'd say don't waste your time. It's a 2-hour video. I'm already a few minutes in and nothing is actually being talked about. Usually I would encourage people to go, look for other sides of the scenario. I will never encourage a minor to go chat with an adult that is supposedly a pedophile. If you are a child, don't. It is better safe than sorry. You let the adults handle the situation and you leave. Okay? As for my adult friends, my pals here, listen. I'm going to encourage you to go talk with people because I want you to see that I'm not hiding anything because I've got nothing to hide. But, like, also, if you're triggered by this stuff, it's kind of disgusting. So, like, yeah, I'm going to advise you not to talk with them ever again. They're kind of creepy. But this is the only time I've ever, like, encouraged people not to watch. It's a 2-hour I mean, you can. If you want to spend 2 hours watching that video, go for it. Like, I mean, have fun because, I spent, like, 5 hours going over it. It was ridiculous. So here we go. It's only about 12 minutes in, and good God, they say I'm not attacking, then accuse me of working with a pedo still in the same breath. I don't work with Kirito and never was in his cast. When I found out bad things were happening, I cut all ties. I can't believe I have to say that there's a fucking difference between me doing a collab with someone and finding out they're a pedo and actively supporting and dismissing Arya's actions. They accuse me of not having proof, but then they say, trust me, bro, when talking about credible sources. That happens so much. Oh my God. Oh my God, there were so many times where they're like, oh, we have reputable sources that say that this didn't happen. But then
they listed the sources.
But then they got angry that I wasn't listing sources either. Even though I was.
They literally said credible sources like multiple times.
They literally said, quote unquote, like, oh, we got it from credible sources. Like, if you're just talking about Clayton, that doesn't count. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. If it's Clayton, it doesn't count.
And that's only one source.
Yeah. Oh, and they contradict themselves constantly. They'd be like, oh, we're not playing the victim. And then, oh, we're the victim, actually. Oh, God, that second video was a whiplash. I'm not pretending to be the victim. I am the victim in this situation. Good fucking God. Pick a fucking side. Like, cool, if you want to play victim, like, that's fine. But just, like, don't say you're not. Then. You choosing to ignore, I have given proof. You choosing to ignore it doesn't mean shit. I've said a lot of what was said in VCs, and all the people who were VCs and stuff like that was talking about, that stuff like that was talked about. All of them no longer work for her except for Clayton, who doesn't count as a credible source. If anyone is attacking her or not, oh yeah, this was the other thing. Everyone kept saying that, like, people are attacking Arya. For the love of God, no one is. No one's attacking Arya. It's absolute like just bullshit. There's no one attacking Arya. There's no screenshots of it. No one's shown anything. I've seen literally nothing. I'm being told Arya's getting death threats and shit, and I've seen nothing. If anyone is attacking you and not just blocking you, then feel free to send me proof, because I will happily remove them. I know my cubs better than that, and they wouldn't. So I don't trust. I trust that I don't need to say don't attack this person. And that's why I tell people to block and move on. Yeah, I didn't specify. Just block Arya. Like, don't attack this person. Because you guys are smarter than this. I love you guys. You guys are great. Honestly, let me tell you. Those of you who have made it this far, thank you for listening to this. I can understand why this is a very confusing situation. And to be honest, I wish I was done and over with this. But here we are, making this video. So far, this has been a video more about Kirito than me or Arya. Get to the fucking point. This doesn't need to be 2 fucking hours. In a video, they actively withhold information, saying things like, should we talk about this? And what information there is, they even state they're unsure about. And yet they talk about it like it's fact. Oh my god, this is going to be a long breakdown video. I did make a breakdown video. That did exist. That does exist somewhere. And it's never going to get posted, because it's just utter nonsense at that point. Every 12 minutes, they have yet to get to the point. They barely have even talked about me or Arya, and talked about someone else entirely different. This is me just replying to Save, who, poor Save, was here along for the ride for part of that. This is in response to stuff. So apparently all my friends are immature and I'm hurting the victims. Hey, Micro, do you feel hurt? Oh, no, I'm not hurt. You hurt my feelings. Okay, people have seen this thing about Goat, and I'm leaving this up so that people can see. Goat was not aware of everything that was happening. Goat is aware of things now. They know what's going on. Goat is not bad. Goat is a good goat. Goat was just confused and tired. But no, I had Goat leave it up because honestly it's a good point. Like PCs, Clayton straight up told you that this has affected his mental health. Clayton is a victim too, according to you. He is. However, that doesn't mean he gets to invalidate others, which is what he's done. I really am sorry that he's hurt, but I'm not sure what else to do here. I can't keep everyone safe. All I can do is try my best. Continuing on with more of the bullshit. Fun fact, I have episodes about my animal thing. Oh god. In that video, they talked about how my animal, like, Nox acts like a wolf is somehow the same to the slavery examples I was giving. Now, I'm going to be honest, to those of the cast members who want to speak up about this, in the episode about the animals, do at any point in time I encourage anyone to hit the characters who are acting like animals?
No. Typically, you smack us if we accidentally smack them.
Absolutely not, says M. Never, says Ari. There's a no from Cece. Never from Microwave. Yeah, I Ness says no. Like, literally, I don't condone that shit to the animals. And they're not even, like, it's just, oh, haha, funny, haha, they're acting like animals. Like, it's not encouraged to hit them. If anything, there has been an episode with Nox acting like a wolf where Nyx is very adamant that anyone touches that shit and someone's gonna get their frontal lobe bitten the fuck off. The animatronics acting like animals have attacked others. That is true. The only time anyone's attacked anyone is the animals acting like animatronics, and even then, it's not like anything more than, like, playful. Like, I think the closest is there is an episode where, oh god, who was it? Who was the animal for that episode? I cannot remember, but, like, one of them got close to Skunk, or Clunk, and he skunked them.
That was Springy.
Springy's episode, because she was a dog. That's the closest it's ever gotten. It's Febreze, for fuck's sake. Anyone who's seen my series. And then they admitted later on that they've never seen the episodes, and they were just saying, oh, because it says they act like animals, that's slavery.
All I'm saying, making a fart noise with my mouth is different than hitting an animal.
Well, it's not comparable to slavery. Animal abuse, sure, but slavery? Is this comparable? They were saying it was dehumanizing. Yeah, they said it was dehumanizing that, like, the dog animatronic is acting like a dog. That a cat animatronic would act like a cat.
And like in the Nox episode, like Nox is acting like a dog. As Leo the lion, I didn't hit back. I just like hissed and stuff and was running away.
Like,
that was it.
Nobody. Anytime any of the animatronics get hit in that episode that was acting like an animal was probably unintentional, because outside of once you go into one murder game, it glitches out so you can hit each other again. So if an accidental punch got thrown, that's one thing, but it was never encouraged. And also, animal abuse is not the same as slavery. The fact that this is compared in this video is just, it's something else. These episodes are jokes and are not at all serious. Mistreatment of the characters during that time is actually discouraged in several of the episodes. So no, it's nothing like glorifying slavery in Arya's series. The fact that you draw these lines is just, wow. This man straight up is talking about how people, and he talks about how there should be more racism and toxic relationship in series because it would make good money. But he would go watch it if there was extreme racism and homophobia in the series. That is a quote. I wish I was fucking kidding. That's a quote.
It's in the video.
It's in the video. He could have cut it out. It could have been edited out later, but no.
It wasn't edited. The video was not edited at all.
Honestly, this video may not really be edited because so far I've been doing pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself on this. A little bit astray, but like nothing bad. Head to bed soon. Good night, guys. All right, TTFN micro. Thank you. Okay. Finished feeling violated and listening to the super creepy and gross vibes. Yeah, because it was disgusting to listen to them basically talk about how they would be more than happy to watch a series like this. Gonna need time to make a proper response video. It stands that now both Kai and Secret are openly supporting a pedophile. I have every right to block any person that supports them. Good night, stay safe. That statement is still true. Anyone who supports either of them, I'll kick your ass. Like, I got no problem with that. I got no issues with that. And yes, I know. Oh, it caused Secret so much anxiety. And that's why she doesn't want me mentioning her name. Cool. Maybe don't support a pedophile then? Just a thought. Like, I mean, if you don't want your name mentioned, kind of easy to just not support a pedophile. And don't use this whole, oh, I used to look up to you crap. That's so manipulative and toxic. Like, we don't, this is strictly parasocial, my dude. I have a very strict, like, parasocial relationship with my fans. Like, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. But I don't know all of you personally. And to expect me to know you all personally, it would be asinine. And the fact that Secret wants to use that as like, oh, I looked up to you. How could you not let me just support a pedophile? Like, that's gross. It's gross. It's icky. It's nasty. It's gross. I'm sorry, Secret. You're gross.
Wasn't like Secret... Was Secret a minor?
No, maybe.
No?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know their age. I officially do not know Secret's age. I know Secret and Kai are together, and I know Kai is an adult, and I hope to God Secret's above the age of 18 or 18, because otherwise, that's not great. But I generally don't know how old Secret is. I have no idea.
Okay.
That's not something I know. And I'm not going to make that statement because I don't think either of them are like supporting like in that way. I just think they're supporting their friend who is a pedophile and they think that that's acceptable. But I'm not going to assume that. No. This is me apologizing for what happened. That's public. It's just me throwing accusations. This was after I talked with Kai. It was basically just to get Kai to like chill the fuck up, fuck off. But like also, and I don't know if Goat wants me to talk about this, but I'm going to be open with you guys. So I'm going to try to be as discreet as possible. But when the video came out, the next morning, Goat sent me a message that was very aggressive and very hostile towards me. Because she was unaware of a lot of what was happening. And she agreed with a lot of the points, even though she really wasn't paying attention to 90% of the video and skimmed through a lot of it. So to try to keep my relationship with Goat, because I do care genuinely a lot about her, when she said that Kai wanted to talk to me, I thought it would make her happy if I talked with him, and that would keep the peace between us. There has been conversation since then. Me and Goat are fine. Goat understands what's happening. Goat's not talking with them either. And we're good. Everything's fine. It's okay. Goat's cool. She actually is really cool. Hey, down in the description, there's a link to the cards with all my cast. You can see all their stuff. Go check out Goat's Twitter. Goat is really cool, and I appreciate them. And they've helped me keep my sanity through so much.
Maybe do commissions if you can afford it.
Commission Goat. She is fucking talented as shit and like easy to work with.
Have you seen her thumbnails?
At the FSH thumbnails, the very first, all the human ones, a lot of those are hers. The ones with the little secrets and stuff, a lot of them are hers. They are so cool. Very cool.
I as a customer of Goats, good quality.
Good quality, good customer service. 10 out of 10. Would commission again. Actually, I am commissioning her again. She's making Mockingbird's reference, which is kind of dope. Made Mockingbird, but she's gonna make Molly's. I'm very excited about that. So it's just an apology I made to try to keep the peace. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like talking with Kai about any of this. I didn't really want to, because it made it very apparent that like he was okay with still supporting a pedophile even after knowing what was happening. This is just another like, okay, Kai decided to wish with Arya. This does mean they're working with a pedo still. I left it at that. And that was going to be it. That was going to be the end of this, but no. No, it was only the beginning. Also, this stuff was on the video. An outside voice deserved to be heard. You can think about what you want and believe what you choose, but I fight for what's right. You won't be hearing about this topic going forward, which is a lie, because they did. You don't deserve to see all this hell breakdown. They made a second video. This was more aimed towards people that aren't a part of my audience to see how this situation is being handled poorly and it's hurting everyone. It wasn't handled the best, but I wouldn't say it was handled poorly. And then basically it's this person saying that like, oh, because Pandy's channel is bigger, people are going to follow her and go after Secret. Well, maybe Secret shouldn't be supporting a pedophile. Good God, what is... Just because you say pedophilia is wrong, having pedophiles in your cast and working with pedophiles makes you an unsafe human being and makes you, by default, somebody who is okay with pedophilia, where you feel comfortable being around pedophiles. Congrats. You fucking disgusting, vile human beings. My God. Can you tell I'm sick of this conversation? And yeah, just a bunch of passive aggressive shit. Oop, they didn't mean to close that one out. We're almost done, guys. We're almost there. We're getting to present day, and oh boy, things get a lot worse. So I'm gonna, okay. Real quick, trigger warning. There's slurs. I'm sorry, I already showed them on screen. I don't know how much of them showed, but there's extremely racist slurs. I am not going to say them out loud. I will say description of what they are, I guess. I don't know, like saying the F word or something like that. I will say that. I'm not going to use the actual words. YouTube, for the love of God, this is not at people. This is not me at anyone. This is wrong. And this is bad. Please, YouTube, don't get angry at me for this. But basically, one of Arya's little peeps made a comment on something being like, oh, do you have proof of it? Proof about them working with Arya. I mean, it's in the description. If we're talking about Arya being a pedo and grooming, there are many witnesses. It's not even funny. Several people have collaborated by story, and there's more to that comment that I forgot to take a screenshot of. I'll be honest, because it's been deleted. About Arya, they don't support pedos, and you haven't shown any active proof. From this point forward, they got 2 alternate accounts and joined my server. Yes, they all are alternate accounts of theirs because the IP is the same. No, I'm not showing their IP because, no. I'm not one to dox people. If you want proof that they're not the same person, sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know. But the timing of this was awfully convenient because it was right after they commented. But anyways, this person joined the server, and my poor staff did the best they could to keep them out. But they were able to get off couple of things that were deleted. Those are the heavy N-word that refers to people of color. Obviously not cool. And then we have a bunch of deleted messages that I never got screenshots of properly in the things, but there's terrorism. It's just a bunch of emojis promoting terrorism right there. And also being just incredibly racist. And then I banned them. Don't mind the reasoning for these. I was just trying to do it quickly. And then they joined with this other account. And they started doing the same thing, spamming things in the general. I banned them, and then they came on with their main account. And then I muted them, and then they left. And then I banned them. And then I checked their IP addresses, and all 3 had the same IP address, so, It wasn't great. So, I sent a message to Kai, because I'm like, hey, do you know who this is? This is stupidly important. Yeah, there are still people who don't know about the thing. Do they have alts? No. Are you positive? I work in his group project. Yeah, I'm checking the IPs right now. Good chance they do. They try to join role plays with 2 other people. By the way, later on in these screenshots, Kai does admit to knowing about these other 2 accounts. So, fun. Yeah, so I'm checking the IPs, good chance, and then I sent a screenshot of what was happening. I hope you're right, because if not, then, and he said, interesting. And then from there, it went downhill. Considering they pushed about Arya being a pedo, then pulled that, it would be a really bad look. Because it is. It's a very bad look. There's a lot of people who are in the dark about this. Even in the dark, there's no reason this should be acceptable. Especially since Arya promoted slavery in her series, which, if you agree or not, is irrelevant. Because stuff like this doesn't help the argument that she wasn't, if this kind of people are watching. It's 100% their alt. I have proof. All 3 accounts share the same IP. Fair, but still shouldn't be getting this kind of treatment, People shouldn't argue with you, but I think in a way it comes off that they might see it as an attack or harassment. Since none of the people know anything, since we really don't talk about it publicly, so in my eyes, to them it's an attack. Besides that, they really shouldn't try to start stuff. So here's the thing. There is no reason, no good reason, even saying, well, they think you're attacking someone, that it gives any form of, reason to be this racist. And especially when there are children in that server. There are minors there. And they went to 3 different accounts to do this shit. None. There's no reason. This isn't, well, they think it's an attack. No! Even if they think it's an attack, this is not acceptable under any circumstance. And the fact that this is dismissed like this is gross. Dude, they're throwing slurs. How is me calling them and their shit out harassment while they're using slurs in my fan Discord? Even if I was attacking Arya, there's no excuse to use the slurs. Not Yuki, I mean the other 2. The same person. Okay, so I got a bit confused here. Basically, what they're saying is it was the other people that I had mentioned in my post that were also working with Arya that this person saw as an attack, and that's why they're defending. It has nothing to do with Arya. But here's the thing. about that. Listen, if I go here and I pull this screenshot up again. Let me go up. Just to make sure I got it. This screenshot right here. This talks about Arya. This does not talk about anyone else. They say it's not about Arya, but I have no proof of that. To be quite honest, I have proof that this has to do with Arya. So, honestly, I think Kay is lying. Because it gets so much worse. That doesn't excuse this. Oh yeah, that's Yuki 100%. I mean, like, the only reason I think he did it is because he thought you were attacking Shino and the other person. Still doesn't excuse the slurs. Even so, this isn't a good look at all, and as far as I see it, the screenshots have them talking about Arya, not the other two. So saying that this might be because of the other two is a stretch. Yeah, but you've stuck to talking about it occasionally. He hasn't said anything before. That's what makes me think it's only because his members are being called out. This is really the first time I've said anything in a while. I have no proof of that. What I have proof of is somebody who has stuff in their content that other minorities, as well as myself, have confirmed to be glorified slavery, was being defended by someone who's making comments about terrorism and using slurs. That's the proof I'm going to show. Fair. I don't know why he did it. No clue either. That was incredibly stupid. I'm not even the leader of that group yet. I'm the one who has to deal with this stuff. I feel you. Well, he dug that hole. I'm not getting involved. As I said, I was done and I'm sticking to that. So that was going to be the end of that. He's incredibly dismissive about it, but that would have been fine. But oh, it gets so much worse. So Arya made a post several hours later, and this is going to be the most tone-deaf thing I have ever heard. Because I made a post, like, being like, yo, hey, there's racist shit being said in my Discord, and that's not cool. Here we go. Trigger warning, racist slurs in the screenshot. Oh boy, have I got news. Just a little bit ago, we had somebody join the fan server with 3 accounts, one of which used heavy slurs to people of color. I said people of color, people. Ignore that. I can grammar. And posted things that mentioned terrorism. This is someone that watches Arya's content and defends her. As someone whose history relates to slavery, I'm deeply appalled. This is absolutely disgusting. Many of my cast members, people of color, or those who have history in it, all have confirmed that Arya's series pretty much promotes or makes jokes out of slaveries, and this just takes the cake. And yes, all 3 accounts belong to Yuki, not Yuri. I even checked the IP address to confirm. No, I'm not going to give it out and dox them. So I guess add them to the list. If you're willing to support somebody who's willing to use such vulgar language, then please feel free to leave. Thank you. Please don't mind the reasons of using the slurs. I panicked, and I tried to just get them out while putting something that I would remember as fast as I could. And then Arya made this response. And it's incredibly tone deaf. Instead of, like, saying something about, like, hey, this isn't cool. Her response is just, I'm suffering in silence IRL, trying my best to adapt to all these new health concerns. I'll keep fighting. I won't give up or in. I'll keep posting no matter how painful or stressful it is. I won't tap out. I'll never cease to exist. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me and my health issues. This is her response to, like, hey, your fans are being incredibly racist. I think the worst thing is that Arya's response to all this is extremely tone deaf and dismissive. At this point, she knows what she's doing is wrong. She's been told by people of color that this is messed up, and yet she does nothing. Yet she does everything she can do to not admit she fucked up. At this point, if people around her are still wishing to support her, they're nuts. This is gross, and there's no excuse for this. I'm going to be thrilled to cut ties with people, especially those trying to defend her and can't even get their own facts straight. And yes, that was that K. So this starts up to these conversations and what kind of brought this all up. Thought I'd come out to address something to my fellow peeps who support me. I appreciate you all for keeping me going. This stuff gets harder, blah, blah, blah. The people I work with or associate with shouldn't affect my opinions on me or anyone else in that matter. We're all human and subject to our own opinions and thoughts. Hate me or love me because I don't care. I don't know who I am. Or I don't care. I know who I am, and I'm extremely critical on my opinions on things. If you choose to follow the leader, deal with it. So anyone who like doesn't want to support pedophilia is a sheep. Like I said, Facebook Cameron. Just wanting to throw this out there because, yeah, I see a variety of people that I work with that aren't exactly liked or popular. These are crimes that are being committed. This is racism and fucking pedophilia. This is not liked or popular. That's my choice and no one else's. And as always, say if you hate me, then you don't have to put up with it. I just hope people put their own thoughts and opinions before judging someone else based on who they're associated with. Sorry, I turned into like a white girl there because literally reading this, I feel like a white girl. I feel so fucking white. God almighty, this is... Please, comment section, please tell me that this doesn't make sense. That if you're with someone who is actively diddling with children, that's somehow okay because you said you don't agree with the diddling of children. This is... It blows my mind. It blows my mind that people like this exist. It really does. And then I made a thing about, hey, if you're willing to support them, go fuck yourself. So this was made on a reply to this. I'm going to point things out because this is important. I apologize for Yuki's actions. This is secret, by the way. He really shouldn't have done that, and we didn't know he was going to do it, not in the slightest. We did tell him about Star and Shiro getting their names dropped, and Yuki threatened to say stuff with his more weird friends involved. But myself, someone else, and Clayton all actively told him not to. But clearly, Yuki didn't listen and got his friends involved because I recognize the name of Legend as one of Yuki's weird friends. They knew. They knew about this. They were told. They say they didn't know that this was going to happen, but he threatened it. And instead of giving me a warning, because like they have access to my DMs, they said nothing. Again, I just want to apologize that this happened. You aren't fucking sorry. It never should have. You're absolutely right. From now on, we'll try to get a hold on Yuki back and others while doing this stuff. So there's no consequences. Because we don't support it. There's no consequences. The matter is that we don't go to extremes on people unless they don't show any positivity. And I honestly just believe Yuki had good intentions wanting to defend his friends, even if it meant doing horrible things. There is no excuse. Horrible things like telling someone to go kill themselves is vastly different when defending your friend than using racial slurs. Both are very bad, but one is a very different level of what the fuck is wrong with you. Even if it meant horrible things. I'm not saying it's okay, but I just understand that, but I am still disappointed that he won't listen to our warnings. Anyways, by the way, Arya had no idea of us. We just don't want her to worry. Again, there's no proof Arya doesn't know. Oh, here we go. Let's read Arya's thing. Yes, people are entitled to have... Yes, people are entitled to have their own opinions, but there are opinions that are downright illegal crimes. And you need to cut ties with people like these because of these opinions, because their opinions reflect on you because of your relationship with that person. It's your job to at least cut ties with them. Bare fucking minimum, buddy. You excused it by saying it wasn't your opinion, which is downright idiotic, in my opinion. And here's the thing, right? My job as a YouTuber is to keep my fans safe. So if I find out my cast member's doing this, I'm going to tell my fans. Like, hey, this is fucked up. Careful. Like, the fact that you are actively promoting their content, which is allowing more kids to see their content, which potentially puts way more people at risk, is fucked up. You're fucked up. There's just a way around that. And the fact that you have the audacity to sit here and say, well, I don't agree with this, but I'm going to continue to promote kids being around them is fucking weird. While I appreciate the apology, it was not their own actions. It just sucks to hear that this was something he did plan on doing, and it's sad that he's willing to stoop to this level. No matter how he may feel, I should say, or not say, it doesn't excuse their actions or even really explain it. You're right. It should have never happened. Again, good intentions under no circumstances excuses this kind of behavior. If they're willing to be racist because they hate someone, they're just racist. 3, I have zero proof that Arya didn't know about this or didn't involve Arya. In fact, I only have proof that it was related to Arya, which is why it's stated as such. No matter what, it shows the kind of people Arya is willing to associate herself with. People like that are trash, and so is anyone who are willing to be around those people. At the end of this all, it truly sucks that stuff like this happened. I am disgusted by this behavior and cannot stand the idea that I even wasted my time interacting with them. I can barely stand the fact that I'm interacted with people who are willing to work with them. And then from there, oh boy. They made a comment on that other post. Agreed sentiment. We are all people with our own set of beliefs and opinions on stuff. If we choose to pick one side or another, that shouldn't mean that the opinions on us should go that low, especially the people who associate with us and so on. Stay safe, my friends and subscribers, and you too as well, Kai. Seriously, what the fuck? Oh, just because we pick a side with a pedophile doesn't mean we support pedophilia. We just think that the pedophile is a better person. Somehow. Anyways, about this is when the YouTube video was made. The other one. About how Kai shouldn't be getting attacked for this, but they're not the victim. No. When Kai actively has dismissed everything Arya's done and actively dismissed what Yuri has done. The only reason anything was done was because I said something publicly. They both were like, oh, we're not going to work with them. We're going to continue to work with him. We're just not going to do anything. It wasn't until I said something that something happened. This is ridiculous. You want stuff to stay private? I want stuff to stay private. You can't do this shit. You want stuff to stay private? Don't be an asshole. Don't be a piece of shit. Don't be a piece of garbage worth of a human being. This is ridiculous. And the fact that I have to make this statement is just so fucking frustrating. They said they're no longer going to associate because he made racist remarks. Again, you knew about this and didn't warn me, so it's on you. And suddenly you don't want to be around somebody who made racist remarks? Almost like you being affiliated with people like that is kind of bad, and that's why you want to leave. For somebody who was sure, strung on their point of, no, we're going to stay around people because what they do doesn't matter to us, they were really quick to leave when racism got involved, which is disturbing. It's disturbing that racism is the thing that gets somebody removed, not pedophilia. Very gross. I hope you're doing all right. I can relate to this situation a lot in certain aspects. Hey, I hope they actually listen this time instead of just mocking you, because you are not a joke and the situation shouldn't be a joke. And hey, I'm proud of you for continuing to keep standing up. I agree this should be taken seriously. Yeah, it is being taken seriously, which is why I'm making this video about it. I genuinely do not understand how you could continue to support Arya at this point. You've all been shown the evidence. Everything's public now. Have fun. You all have the evidence now. You have all of it. And do with it as you will. My statement still stands. No, you shouldn't harass people, even if they're pedophiles. As much as it's gross and disgusting, just don't be around them. Just leave. Block if you need to. It's not a big deal. But at this point, all the cards are on the table. You even heard of VC. There's several people here who have said, yes, this person, he's a fucking pedophile. There are screenshots. There is so much evidence of this. Verbally and screenshot wise. Not as much screenshot wise as there is verbally, but there's a lot of verbal evidence of several witness testimonies that at this point, you're just intentionally ignoring the evidence in front of you. To say that there is no evidence just proves that you aren't looking for evidence, you want to be right. And in which case, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that's your viewpoint. Because you're disgusting and vile. There's no way to beat around it. And I know, like, I'm just sitting here calling people names. That's probably not the nicest. But, like, I genuinely don't know how to, like, express how much I want to throw up right now. Like, these are adults. These are not children. These two are adults. Supposedly Secret is. But, Kay is an adult. He's an adult. There's literally no reason why this is acceptable and why he sees this as fine. There's no reason why this whole, we can stay neutral applies to this. This is not no children playground squabble. This is very serious. And the fact that you're taking it with such ease is disturbing, to say the least. Will there probably be a reply video by them about this? Yeah, probably. Will it be longer than this video? God, I fucking hope not. Because I'm gonna be honest, if I have to listen to that shitty mic quality or listen to them try to figure out what the fuck is true or not and go like just incorrect facts and false statements, here, there, and everywhere, I'm going to lose my mind. I'll do it. I'll watch through it. I'll do it. Because you know what? Content, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how else to reply to this, to be honest. I'm trying to make a joke because I'm depressed and I'm grossed out. So I apologize. That was in poor taste. That was in poor taste. But yeah, if you didn't know what was happening with AryaFein, you do now. You have no reason to ignore it now. And if you're still sticking around and willing to support her, you're gonna get blocked. Because I do actually pay attention to the people who are commenting on her stuff. I do actively pay attention to that. Because I do legitimately care about my fans not being around people who support pedophilia. Simple as that. Is there anything else I should say? What do you guys think? Anything else important?
Oh no.
Thanks, SK. You covered a lot. I did cover a lot. I don't mind answering questions, by the way. If you do have questions, go ahead and ask. I'll answer them as best as I can. Obviously, I don't know everything. And I'm not going to pretend that I know everything. But I will try to answer the best I can. You can also ask questions if you're looking for answers from the people involved. I'm pretty sure Microwave will probably be looking at this video. Other people who were involved in this will probably be looking over this video to see what's happening. If people still defend... Okay, sorry, hang on. I got to do the Pipsqueak voice. If people still defend Arya after seeing all this evidence, they should reflect upon their own actions and themselves generally, because this is not an okay stance to have on a case with a lot of proof, mind you, about pedophilia along with other horrendous things. My opinion, Mari. That's not an opinion, that's just fact. That's just a fact. Get mentally checked, please. For the love of God, if you're okay with this shit, get mentally checked. Because honestly, I'd be concerned that you're maybe a pedophile. Because, especially with this much proof at this point. This is almost a 3-hour video. That is how much proof there is on this shit. I should not have to go. And this is ignoring all the video evidence that exists on her channel. Like I've said
interject
this.
one more time.
Yeah, go for it.
Here's what I want to remind everybody. This is not a cancellation. This is not a scandal. This is a crime. Not a crime in a jokey way. The law was broken.
This isn't drama. This isn't a school playground fight where Timmy and Tom are fighting and somebody stole their basketball. All right, this isn't that kind of shit. This is very serious stuff, and the fact that stuff like this gets dismissed as drama or scandal is absolutely ridiculous. Situation, if you want to call it something, but it's definitely not. It's a serious situation that crimes were committed and people were deeply hurt. People have actually been traumatized. Microwave can't even remember a lot of what happened while with Arya because he suppressed a lot of his memories. A lot of people can't remember a lot of it because of like actual trauma that's involved here. Like a lot of people were affected, and this is ridiculous. This is just fucking ridiculous. That's what this is. I'm really sorry that I had to make this video. I was hoping to avoid this entirely, but obviously, when my name's getting dragged around in the mud, I do have to defend myself. And I feel that you all deserve the right to know what's going on. I'm pretty open with you guys about things. I try to be as much as I can. And while I'm not the best all the time, I feel like I do pretty good. So I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I got through this video without crying. And for the most part, honestly, I don't even think I'm going to need to edit any of this. Because, like, this is pretty spot on. This is pretty great for a long vent ramble. Pretty good. But anyways, guys, I should probably outro. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a possum day. Hope you get some rest. Hope you get some sleep. Or I hope you did get some sleep, depending on when you watch this. And TTFN. Bye-bye.